Chapter 316. Breaking the Formation. Arrival at this moment, a loud and resounding voice suddenly sounded from deep in the sky. N0. 1. N0. 2. Number 3. N0. 4. And number 5 warships and their subordinates. Follow the far suppression and continue onward. The remaining warships. Head to the White Lotus Sect's subordinate forces. The voice rang like a massive bell, drifting in the air and falling into everyone's ears. Rumble. The colossal warship at the forefront continued to sail forward, followed by 5 other massive warship fleets. Meanwhile, the smaller fleets began to veer off in other directions. The warship that Lu Yun was on, being a treasure-class battleship, was also massive in size. The Demon Suppression Army on it comprised 10,000 people, among them an Earth-rank demon extermination general, Wei Zongqing. Though his strength was not on par with Zhuang Zijin's, he was a formidable early stage rune seed realm cultivator. There were also the Flying Spirit Martial Academy and South Sun Martial Academy on board, with 3 peak Golden Body realm cultivators. There were also several thousand independent martial cultivators, including over a dozen Golden Body realm martial artists. With such an imposing force at his disposal, the mission had only one goal: to eradicate the Black Mountain sect. It was unknown how long it had been. Suddenly, a small point of light in front of them expanded rapidly at a speed visible to the naked eye. Soon, an expansive white light appeared in everyone's sights. Seeing the heavens and earth enveloped in white mysterious light, Lu Yun couldn't help but feel something. Unlike the martial academies of the Morijin states and counties, which had almost no defenses, the mountain gates of the 100 sects in the coastal regions were all protected by natural arrays. To enter, outsiders must break the sect array. Of course, arrays created by the foundations of a sect were not easily broken by ordinary people. The Black Mountain sect was once a top sect in the region, with Golden Core realm cultivators and a long and rich inheritance. It had many means at its disposal. Even now, its sect array was still extraordinarily sturdy. How to break it open remained a challenge. Everyone be prepared. As soon as the array is broken, enter right away and kill all the strong members of the Black Mountain sect, Wei Zongqing said coldly. Upon hearing this, the Demon Suppression Army nodded obediently. The martial artists from the martial academies and the numerous independent martial cultivators also showed stern expressions and let their auras burst forth. Seeing this, Wei Zongqing didn't waste any more words and stepped off the warship into the sky. He then stretched out his right hand, and a black all the size of a fist appeared in his palm. In the next moment, the black all detached itself from Wei Zongqing's hand, radiating a deep black light before rapidly enlarging. Buzz! As the all expanded, a rumbling noise sounded from the void surrounding it. The initially calm void instantly stirred up waves, which grew larger and larger as if the space was about to be pierced through by some force. Instantly, Lu Yun felt his mind trembling. So strong! His eyes were filled with shock. Just one glance at the black all caused his sea of consciousness to produce intense fluctuations. This showed just how terrifying the black all was. However, could this black all break through the Black Mountain sect's sect protection array? As Lu Yun was doubtful, a familiar voice came from beside him. This is the array breaking all. Array breaking all? Lu Yun turned his head and saw Lei Kang, who had somehow made his way beside him. Seeing his confusion, Lei Kang's gaze fell on the array breaking all, and a solemn expression appeared on his face. The array breaking all, along with the warships and other artifacts, are part of the inheritance left by the first generation primordial emperor. More than 800 years ago, during the expulsion of the 100 sects, the array breaking all was used to destroy one sect gate after another. Its fame skyrocketed, and the 100 sects fled in terror. Unfortunately, after centuries of scarce warfare between Morijin and the 100 sects, The array-breaking all was no longer used, and its formidable reputation began to fade away. As he spoke, his solemn expression gradually gave way to nostalgia and ease. Rumor has it that each array-breaking all is at least a superior treasure possessing terrifying power. When fully stimulated, it can deliver a full-strength blow comparable to a golden core realm cultivator. As such, the Black Mountain Sect's sect protection array should be easily broken. Upon hearing this, Lu Yin was even more shocked. Although he didn't know the exact power of a full-strength blow from a golden core realm cultivator, he could vaguely guess that it would be a world-shattering force. And that seemingly unremarkable black all, or rather, the array-breaking all, possessed such power. Moreover, according to Lei Kang's words just now, there were not only one array-breaking all, and the weakest of them could unleash the power of a full-strength blow from a golden core realm cultivator. What about higher-grade array-breaking alls? Could they possess even greater power on par with heavenly human realm cultivators? Lu Yin shook his head internally. He couldn't imagine how the 100 sects could compete with Morijin if they truly possessed such terrifying array-breaking alls. Under Wei Zongcheng's control, the array-breaking all enlarged to several tens of meters in size and, with an incredibly powerful penetrating force, descended towards the sect protection array covering the Black Mountain Sect. The heaven and earth trembled violently. Countless mysterious lights burst forth, and the sect protection array seemed to have received some kind of strong stimulus. At the same time, in the palace hall of the Black Mountain Sect, the sect master, who was deep in thought about how to aid the White Lotus sect, suddenly opened his closed eyes. The palace trembled, the mountain shook, and the space quivered. Simultaneously, a neighing sound echoed throughout the hall. At this moment, every strong cultivator in the hall felt a slight change in their expressions. What is going on? It must be a sea beast attacking the sect protection array. As a sect near the ocean, the Black Mountain Sect was often attacked by sea beasts. The sect had endured at least 1 or 2 sea beast attacks every year and had long become accustomed to such incidents, taking them in stride. Chapter 317. Breaking the formation, arrival 2 sect master. I will go out and kill the sea beast. A gold body realm expert stepped forward with a graceful bow, exuding an imposing aura. All right, go quickly and return quickly. The Black Mountain Sect Master gave a slight nod. As long as it's not an overly powerful sea beast, 1 or 2 gold body realm experts should be enough. This individual was the heavenly pride Fufeng of the Black Mountain Sect, possessing the ability to fight across realms, and killing a sea beast that attacked the sect protection array would be as easy as flipping his hand. It wasn't surprising that he was so confident, as in the past the attacking sea beasts had always been only at the 6th rank. However, as soon as his voice fell, the surrounding space began to tremble violently again, and the sturdy and thick hull started to show slight cracks. No, this attack is different from the past ones. It's more powerful. I'm afraid it's at least a 7th rank sea beast. Someone's voice trembled, speaking with disbelief. Upon hearing this, the expressions of the experts in the hall changed again. A 7th rank sea beast was as powerful as a rune seed realm expert. And if they were targeted by such a powerful sea beast, the days of the Black Mountain Sect would be in jeopardy. Previously, Heavenly Pride Fufeng, who had asked to go to the battlefield, his complexion also became serious. He had no fear in facing a 6th rank sea beast. But if it were a 7th rank sea beast, the situation would be entirely different. A 7th rank sea beast? The Black Mountain Sect Master's eyebrows furrowed slightly, waving his hand and saying, "In that case, ignore it for now, let it make a fuss for a while, and it will leave on its own." The sect protection array of the Black Mountain Sect could withstand a golden core realm expert for a short period. A 7th rank sea beast would be unable to break through the sect protection array. It would be troublesome to get rid of it, so they could only hunker down inside. Sect Master, why not ask the Supreme Elder to leave seclusion and personally lead a team to support the White Lotus sect? This way, we can alleviate the suspicions of the White Lotus sect to the greatest extent. Seeing the hesitation of the Black Mountain Sect Master, the Great Elder suggested, "The Supreme Elder has been in seclusion, and I don't want to disturb him unless absolutely necessary." The Black Mountain Sect Master waved his hand slightly and pondered. "To show our sincerity, I will personally lead the team, and Great Elder will stay behind at the sect, keeping an eye on the changes in the battle situation. If anything unexpected happens, make a decision right away." Sect Master. The Great Elder wanted to speak further, but was stopped by the Sect Master of Black Mountain Sect. "All right, the decision has been made. Order the sect's true Chi Realm disciples and above, as well as the resident elders, to assemble tomorrow morning. I will personally decide who will stay behind and who will go to battle." As the words fell, the Black Mountain Sect Master stood up, ready to leave the hall. But at this moment, a crisp noise came from outside, as if something was shattering. Not good. As if foreseeing something, the Black Mountain Sect Master's pupils were filled with horror, and he quickly picked up his pace and appeared outside the hall. Looking up, the mysterious light barrier that had enveloped the sky had shattered, turning into a series of streamers that fell towards the various peaks of the Black Mountain Sect. The sect protection array is broken. At this moment, many disciples of the Black Mountain Sect had their eyes filled with shock. The sect protection array had been broken, an event that had not occurred in hundreds of years. The last time the sect protection array had been broken had been over 800 years ago, and the Black Mountain Sect's inheritance had almost been destroyed. What about this time? At this point, many of the experts in the hall also appeared outside right away. Their eyes were all fixed on the vortex that was constantly expanding, where a large awl was spinning wildly, trying to completely destroy the sect protection array. AR ray breaking all. Looking at the pitch-black array breaking all that had been magnified countless times, the eyes of the Black Mountain Sect Master were filled with coldness and fear. Although he had not personally experienced the scene of the sect's high-level figures being slaughtered when the sect protection array was broken over 800 years ago, everything related to it had been passed down through generations of sect masters. Therefore, he was very clear about the array breaking all and how similar the current crisis facing the Black Mountain Sect was to that of the past, the brink of life and death. Furthermore, the current Black Mountain Sect was far from its peak. "Sect Master, what is that thing?" Fu Feng asked with trembling voice. The onlookers also looked towards the Black Mountain Sect Master, clearly shocked by the treasure that had broken the sect protection array. Array breaking all, a weapon that Morijin uses against the 100 sects. It is the nemesis of our 100 sects. The sect master of the Black Mountain Sect slowly spoke, his brain racing at lightning speed as he pondered over the next course of action. The array breaking all had appeared. So how could Morijin's demon suppression army not have arrived? Array breaking all. Most of the strong experts were somewhat puzzled upon hearing this name. While the Great Elder's ancient eyes slightly narrowed, he exclaimed, "How is it possible? Weren't the White Lotus Sect and the Red Moon Demon Sect the main targets of the Demon Suppression Army? How did they appear outside of our Black Mountain Sect?" He could not believe it, nor did he dare to imagine it. But they've already come, and they've even broken through our sect protection array. The sect master of the Black Mountain Sect said with trembling voice, "The Morijin's demon suppression army has arrived, and their target is pointed straight towards our Black Mountain Sect. Notify all disciples of the sect to immediately run." After saying this, it seemed as though he had exhausted all his strength, becoming extremely weak. Run, including the Great Elder. Everyone could hardly believe that such words would come out of their sect master's mouth. Our Black Mountain Sect is too weak. Being targeted by the Demon Suppression Army, there's only one outcome: total annihilation. The only solution is to flee. He was well aware of how formidable the Demon Suppression Army outside must be, considering they were able to deploy a precious treasure like the array breaking all. With the current strength of the Black Mountain sect, they simply couldn't resist. Escaping was the best option. But listen to my order. Hurry and inform the disciples of the sect to flee. The Black Mountain sect master roared with all his might. Upon seeing this, the Golden Body Realm experts finally realized the seriousness of the situation and quickly headed towards the various mountaintops. Great Elder, why are you not leaving? The sect master of the Black Mountain sect looked at the Great Elder beside him and spoke indifferently. Aren't you also not leaving, sect master? I'm not leaving because it's my responsibility and mission. You are the sect master and I am the Great Elder. Staying behind is also my responsibility. The Great Elder smiled and said, Moreover, with my body on the verge of breaking down, I won't last much longer. If I can buy some more time for the disciples to escape, it's worth it. Under their gaze, with a puff, the array completely collapsed, revealing the true void in front of them. In that boundless deep space, enormous warships descended one after another, completely enveloping the sky above the Black Mountain sect. Demon Suppression Army. Gazing at the massive warships that filled the entire sky, the sect master of the Black Mountain sect's eyes were filled with chill. Although he already knew in his heart that it was undoubtedly the Demon Suppression Army that had arrived, seeing the actual colossal warships, his mood sank to rock bottom. Great Elder, today we shall fight side by side. The sect master of the Black Mountain sect deeply looked at the palace behind him one last time, and finally his eyes rested on the Great Elder. The Great Elder stood with his hands behind his back and uttered a single word from his mouth. Battle. Immediately after, he stepped into the sky, preparing to strike horizontally at the incoming Demon Suppression Army. At the same time, the news of the Demon Suppression Army's arrival spread throughout the Black Mountain sect's 3 palaces and 9 peaks in an instant. These disciples, upon receiving orders from their peak masters and elders, were all shocked. Not fighting and running away. This is not the proper behavior of the disciples of the Black Mountain sect. I, Xiaozhan, request permission to join the fray. I, Wang Bo, also request permission to fight. The true inheritor of the sect, Luo Yunqi, requests permission to fight. With a great enemy approaching, the only command issued by the sect was to flee, which the disciples couldn't accept. Consequently, they clamored to join the battle. However, when they saw those colossal warships in the sky, which were like clouds hanging above, everyone was intimidated and momentarily. No one requested to join the battle. The disciples who had previously clamored to join the battle hesitated, not knowing what was on their minds. Fleeing without fighting may be shameful, but what's the big deal as long as it ensures the survival of the sect's inheritance? Looking at these disciples who were silent one by one, a strong expert from the Black Mountain sect spoke. Go! This peak master will lead you all to break through. This time no disciple refused. Scenes like this happened simultaneously in many places in the Black Mountain sect. Aboard the warship, Wei Zongqing withdrew the array breaking all and coldly observed the chaotic state of the Black Mountain sect below. Chapter 318. Black silence, profound thunder in the next moment. Wei Zongqing appeared in the deep sky. With a punch, accompanied by a rumbling sound, endless golden runes appeared in the void, ruthlessly falling towards the Black Mountain sect. In an instant, the void exploded and the mountains trembled. All the palaces of the Black Mountain sect were annihilated at this moment. Then the battleship slowly descended and settled on the top of the mountain. The disputes over the Tao and positions have no right or wrong. Blame them for obstructing Marine's development and the rise of the human race. Today's battle must not be held back. Otherwise today's kindness will be cruelty to the human race in the future. After briefly explaining, Wei Zongqing stepped out, surrounded by golden runes, like a descending golden sun, with a magnificent momentum that shook the void. Rune Seed Realm. The sect master of the Black Mountain sect stepped into the void, reaching a position on par with Wei Zongqing. The void tore open, and a giant seal appeared there. The entire body of the giant seal was pitch black, with a deep and mysterious surface, mysterious patterns all over it, as if it were flowing black lightning, filled with a destructive and majestic aura that emitted from it. Black Mountain Seal. Seeing the black seal appear, there was a slight fluctuation in Wei Zongqing's calm eyes. As a demon extermination general in this campaign against the Black Mountain sect, he naturally knew about the situation of the Black Seal. The Black Mountain Seal was the treasure of the Black Mountain sect, not only possessing the power to shake mountains, but also releasing the terrifying black silence, profound thunder. Even Rune Seed Realm experts, who were accidentally contaminated by it, would be in danger of falling. Unfortunately, treasures like the Black Mountain Seal could only be used by someone above the Rune Seed Realm, barely able to exert 7 or 8/10 of its power. The current sect master of the Black Mountain sect, afraid of the might of Thunder Tribulation, did not dare to cross it, barely considered as half-step Rune Seed Realm. Even with the Black Mountain Seal, he wasn't someone to be feared. In just a moment of seeing the Black Mountain Seal, Wei Zongqing had already weighed the pros and cons. On the other side, with the Black Mountain Seal in his hand, the sect master of the Black Mountain sect looked at all the people in front of him, a coldness in his deep black eyes. My Black Mountain sect withdrew from 9 provinces 800 years ago and has never set foot in Marine's territory, nor has it ever been an enemy of Marine. Why does Marine's demon suppression army want to destroy my sect now? The sect master of the Black Mountain sect's voice was powerful, clearly falling into everyone's ears. The 100 sects are indeed the scum of our human race, especially the White Lotus sect and the Red Moon Demon sect, who have repeatedly violated Marine, plundered our population, and destroyed the foundation of the human race. Your Black Mountain sect, as a subordinate force of the White Lotus sect, is also guilty and must be punished. Wei Zongqing's tone was indifferent, filled with killing intent. Hearing this, the sect master of the Black Mountain sect sneered. What a guilty and must be punished. Marine is just stealing the victory fruits of the 100 sects, and now he actually thinks he is the orthodox human race. It's really ridiculous. Marine expelled demon beasts, expanded the endless great wilderness, developed territory, spread martial arts throughout the world, and made martial arts prosperous. Its achievements are far beyond your reach. Today, my demon suppression army is here to eradicate the remnants left from 800 years ago and permanently eliminate the internal troubles of the human race. With a wave of Wei Zongqing's hand, the demon suppression guards and many martial artists on the battleship appeared and killed the Black Mountain sect with a soaring, killing intent. If you want to destroy my Black Mountain sect, pass me first. As the words fell, the Black Mountain Seal trembled, and the black silence, profound thunder erupted. The void beneath sect master of the Black Mountain sect collapsed, and the sky-high momentum instantly burst out. Half-step Rune Seed Realm, although just a half-step, was far from comparable to the strength of a gold body realm peak expert. In his move, a world-shattering might burst out from the void. Just a mere half-step Rune Seed Realm. Even if you have a treasure like the Black Mountain Seal, how much power can you really exert? Wei Zongqing sneered coldly, and the long sword behind him sounded as if it was drawn out of its scabbard by itself. As the sword hilt was grasped, the power of heaven and earth gathered, the sword radiance erupted, cutting the void in front of him effortlessly. Black silence, profound thunder, and surging sword radiance collided. Waves that were like sea waves surged towards all sides. At the same time, all the people on the battleship rushed into the mountain gate. On the mountain peak, green mountains and clear waters originally held a beautiful scenery, even planted with various spirit herbs. Now, however, they were devastated. The disciples of the Black Mountain sect were all in a daze, with such a sudden appearance of so many powerhouses, rushing to kill, frightened them to quickly counterattack and flee. Boom! A golden thunder suddenly struck down from the sky, directly piercing a fleeing disciple of the Black Mountain sect and turning him into a charred husk. Humph! Don't think about escaping, Black Mountain sect. Lei Kang looked coldly at the panicked disciples of the Black Mountain sect, his body flickering with golden thunder and an arresting momentum. Behind him, Lu Yun and other Martial Academy disciples followed suit. It'll stop them, you guys retreat first. Someone roared, and a man dressed in black robes blocked Lei Kang. Apparently, this was a gold body realm expert who had been immersed in this realm for many years. Even sensing the terrifying power from Lei Kang, he wasn't afraid and actively intercepted him. Saint Child, leave this one to me. You guys chase down the others. Lei Kang said to the Flying Spirit Martial Academy students behind him. Soaring into the sky, a bolt of thunder shooting out, colliding with the black-robed man. Boom! As the two collided, Lei Kang occupied the upper hand, completely suppressing the Black Mountain sect's expert. Chapter 319. Dark Mysterious Thunder _ to kill. Lu Yin ordered the people behind him and took the lead in pursuing the enemies. There were numerous disciples in the Black Mountain sect, with tens of thousands in the inner sect alone. Moreover, the Black Mountain sect occupied a vast area, with 3 main halls, 9 peaks, and dozens of large and small mountain peaks. It would not be easy to exterminate all the people of the Black Mountain sect. We are all of the human race. Why must you kill us without mercy? After surrounding a group of about 10 or so Black Mountain sect disciples on their own, a young man in his 20s asked accusingly, "It is not that we want to kill you relentlessly, but the 100 sects are no longer suitable for the development of the human race, especially forces like the White Lotus sect." Lu Yin had contacted the White Lotus sect a few times before and had no good feelings for them. The Black Mountain sect, as a subordinate force, was not much better. Moreover, he was now representing Marine and the greater interests of the human race. The 100 sects stood against Marine, hindering the progress of the human race, and must be eliminated. With a slight wave of his hand, several fire snakes emerged and fell upon the 12 Black Mountain sect disciples, burning them to ashes in no time. Lu Yun glanced at his demon extermination token, but there was no change on it. It seems that killing disciples of the 100 sects below the transforming origin realm indeed does not grant any demon extermination points. Lu Yin shook his head slightly and then led the Martial Academy students behind him to continue pursuing the enemy. Although the Black Mountain sect had regained some strength, it had no power to resist the onslaught of 1 Rune Seed realm, 3 peak Golden Body realm experts, over 20 Golden Body realm warriors, and tens of thousands of demon extermination guards and martial artists. Haha, it's no wonder that you were once the sect that ruled Kyushu. Even now, you still have such a deep foundation that simply acquiring 1 item can be worth years of my hard work. The most ferocious ones in this process were the independent martial cultivators. They joined the Demon Suppression Army this time to earn demon extermination points and take advantage of the chaos of war to gain cultivation resources. Compared to earning points, they were more enthusiastic about the latter. At this time, the fleeing Black Mountain sect disciples had more or less a considerable number of spirit crystals and pills on them. As long as they were killed and their bodies were searched, there would be a lot of gains. Haha, 2 late-stage True Chi disciples die for me. A middle-aged independent martial cultivator caught up with 2 Black Mountain sect disciples and launched his attack with explosive fists. The red true origin surrounding his body indicated that he was at the transforming origin realm level. With such power, it was a piece of cake for him to kill the 2 True Chi realm Black Mountain sect disciples. You dogs of Marine dare to slaughter my sect's disciples so blatantly. You really deserve to die. A 26 or 27-year-old Black Mountain sect disciple leaped into the air and slashed his sword at the middle-aged independent martial cultivator. With a boom, their attacks collided, and the middle-aged independent martial cultivator was defeated, spewing blood and flying away. As his body flew through the air, the sword light flashed, and blood splattered as his body was cut in two. "It's senior brother Lin Feng. He's here to save us." The two disciples were surprised and then overjoyed. This genius senior brother was one of the top true inheritance disciples of the sect. He was highly talented, powerful, and prestigious, and the Black Mountain sect disciples respected him deeply. "Kid, you actually didn't run away. Instead, you came back. I don't know if you are loyal or foolish, but no matter what, since you stayed behind, prepare to die." Several powerful, independent martial cultivators appeared in the sky, attacking from the front. These were more powerful cultivators among the independent practitioners who had been stuck in the origin fluid realm for many years and could not advance to the golden body realm. This time, if they could accumulate enough demon extermination points, they could exchange them for pills to improve their cultivation, or even exchange for a golden body realm cultivation technique, giving them a chance to glimpse the powerful golden body realm. The Black Mountain sect may be on the verge of collapse, but we will not tolerate your independent cultivators causing havoc. At that moment, a voice appeared, coming from above. It was an elder of the Black Mountain sect. "Damn it, it's a golden body realm expert." The independent cultivators were shrewd people, knowing to pick on the weak. Golden body realm experts were not something they could handle. So, as soon as they saw the elder appear, they didn't hesitate at all and immediately fled. "Elder Tongue, don't let them go, or our whereabouts will be exposed," Lin Feng hurriedly reminded. The elder called Ting nodded. "Trying to escape from me. How is that possible?" Boom! After just a few exchanges, golden light flickered in the sky, followed by spurts of blood as the 3 origin fluid realm independent cultivators were killed. They were independent cultivators, inherently weaker, and now facing a golden body realm expert from the Black Mountain sect. They were no match at all. "Thank you, Elder Tongue." Lin Feng bowed in gratitude. "You carry the hope of our sect as one of our true inheritance disciples. You must not be so reckless next time." Elder Ting looked at the humble and polite disciple in front of him, and although he was quite satisfied, he still scolded him. "Elder, I couldn't bear to see my fellow disciples in danger." "You!" Elder Tongue wanted to say something, but in the end he didn't open his mouth. He just said, "Hurry up and leave before Marine's demon suppression army catches up again. I'm afraid you won't be able to leave." Suddenly a cold voice sounded. At the sound of the voice, Elder Tang's body trembled slightly. He looked up to see a young man in a purple robe had appeared before them without them noticing. Chapter 320. Lack silence, profound, thunder. The person who came was none other than Lu Yin. After killing more than a dozen Black Mountain sect disciples at the transforming origin realm level, the demon extermination points on his demon's extermination token finally broke through the count of 20. 20 demon extermination points, which were too many for regular martial artists. However, to Lu Yin it was pitifully few, so he was preparing for solo action. Of course, before this, he had already ordered the 3 Golden Body Realm Elders from the Martial Academy to protect Gu Yuan, Bailey, and the others no matter what. The Black Mountain sect was now in a state of total collapse, with many Golden Body Realm powerhouses being entangled by the Demon Suppression Army and other powerhouses. In such a situation, Lu Yin no longer needed to worry about the safety of Gu Yuan and the others, so he chased them on his own. As expected, he had finally encountered 2 decent preys. "Very well, you just have the origin fluid realm for cultivation, yet dared to chase me alone. You're quite good." Elder Tongue from the Black Mountain sect discerned Lu Yin's cultivation level with a single glance. His eyes were cold, and his tone was chilling. "Enough to kill you." Lu Yin's eyes were slightly cold as he threw a direct punch. red sun breaks the sky. An overwhelmingly powerful punch rumbled out, enveloped a huge mountain, making it seem as if it was covered by a terrifying light. The fleeing Black Mountain sect disciples could only feel the earth shaking and look in horror at the waves sweeping over them from behind, because all they could see was an endless golden light, and that venerable and powerful elder Teng was directly submerged by the golden light. His last gaze fell on this Black Mountain sect true inheritance disciple Lin Feng. What could be seen in his gaze? Expectation, longing, and hope. Elder Teng, looking at Elder Teng, who couldn't even withstand one round in this young man's hands, and was directly bombed to death, this Black Mountain sect true inheritance disciple had a stunned look filled with grief and shock. He had clearly heard earlier that this young man was at the origin fluid realm cultivation level. But as a result, the dignified golden body realm elder of the Black Mountain sect was actually killed with a counterattack. What kind of monster is this? While shocked, his heart was filled with immense grief and anger. His revered elder, who he had always been very respectful of, died right in front of him, and his hatred was like an endless river. Destroying my sect, killing my fellow disciples, I, Lin Feng, and Morijin will never coexist. Lin Feng coldly glanced at Lu Yin, then took out a golden talisman paper with interwoven law auras, which was quite mysterious. This was a teleportation talisman, capable of instantly teleporting tens of thousands of miles away. It was extremely precious and could only be made by rune seed realm powerhouses. Before this, he would never have left his fellow disciples to escape alone. But now, having witnessed Elder Ting falling in front of him because of himself, he knew he couldn't be reckless anymore. So he crushed the teleportation talisman without hesitation. As the space ripple emerged and he was about to break the void and leave, a golden streak suddenly pierced through his head. Golden Edge, Sword Fang. This was the treasure Lu Yun obtained from the Golden Ho Beast. At this moment in his hands, the Golden Edge, Sword Fang, became even more flexible, and its power was even more terrifying. Looking at the corpse lying on the ground, there was a slight fluctuation in Lu Yun's expression. Honestly, in his view, both the true inheritance disciple of the Black Mountain sect and the Golden Body Realm elder he had just killed had been quite sincere towards their fellow sect members, even showing no fear of death. Killing such people gave him an odd feeling in his heart. No matter what, they were still part of the human race, and there was no enmity between them and himself. Killing them would naturally stir some emotions in his heart. Blame yourselves for being part of a sect. In the end, Lu Yun still shook his head slightly, clearing the strange emotions in his heart. He had always been quite clear-headed when faced with major issues. Now, Morijin was the orthodox of the human race. As long as Morijin could lead the human race to continue expanding, they would prosper and grow stronger. The 100 sect, on the other hand, would only seek their own interests, causing internal strife and attempting to take advantage of Morijin's expansion into the great wilderness to erode Morijin's foundation. Such actions absolutely couldn't be tolerated. Chapter 321. The Fall of the Black Sect Master. Arrival of the Supreme Elder now. The entire Black Mountain sect is immersed in battle, with more than half of its disciples lost. At present, only those elite disciples escorted by various sect masters and elders have survived. However, pursued and attacked by demon extermination guards and numerous martial academy disciples and independent martial cultivators, they are also heavily wounded. As their fellow sect members fell one by one, the entire Black Mountain sect was engulfed in sorrow. Are we of the Black Mountain sect doomed in this disaster? An elder, looking at the encircling demon extermination guards, wept and lamented to the heavens. As long as the fire seed remains, a prairie fire will surely rise in the future. The 5th elder sighed deeply with a hint of relief in his eyes. He had anticipated that giving full support to the White Lotus sect would ultimately lead to the destruction of the Black Mountain sect, and therefore proposed the plan to divide the sect's strength into 3. Now, some of the disciples had already left the mountain gate, hiding in nearby sea areas, ensuring that even if no one escaped, the Black Mountain sect would not be completely wiped out. He looked deeply at the mountain gate and at the disciples surrounding him, his expression calm, and in an almost desolate voice he said, "You must live!" With a reminder, he led the charge and fought through. Outside the mountain gate, shadows loomed, and the demon extermination guards were already in battle formation, completely encircling the Black Mountain sect. Boom! Battle erupted immediately, with true origin intertwining, rainbow lights flashing, and the first to charge out, the Black Mountain sect's 5th elder, quickly becoming bloodied and heavily injured. That was because his opponent was much stronger than him. Behind him, a group of elite disciples looked pale. If the late Golden Core Realm's 5th elder couldn't help them break through, who could lead them out? Kill, break through there! At another direction, 7 or 8 Black Mountain sect elders took the lead, bathed in blood, battling fiercely with the demon extermination guards. The mountain peak was directly leveled, creating a bloody path and leading numerous disciples to break through the siege. Want to leave? It's not that easy. In the distance, Lei Kang stepped on the void and arrived. With a casual move, golden thunderbolts flew out. Boom! Thunder arcs fell, smashing mountains and shaking space. No one knew how powerful this thunderbolt was. Even though several Black Mountain sect elders tried to resist it, many disciples were still buried in it. Not good, this person is too strong, at least in the Golden Body Realm peak. The people of the Black Mountain sect were horrified. Besides the Supreme Elder and Sect Master, only the Great Elder of the Black Mountain sect was at the Golden Body Realm peak. However, now the Sect Master was battling the Demon Suppression Army commander, and the Great Elder was also entangled by other Demon Suppression Army experts. As for the most powerful Supreme Elder, he was in life and death seclusion, and whether he was alive or not was still an unknown. The remaining people were ordinary Golden Body Realm martial artists, with a certain gap from the peak of the Golden Body Realm. Not to mention Lei Kang, who had been immersed in the current realm for many years and was waiting to condense rune seeds and cross the Thunder Tribulation to advance to the Rune Seed Realm. Black Mountain Sect is destined to be destroyed, and none of you have a chance to escape. Lei Kang coldly shouted, his body wrapped in golden thunder, and he rushed forward to kill. If you want to destroy my Black Mountain Sect, you must pay with blood. 3 Black Mountain Sect elders immediately tried to stop Lei Kang, while the other elders led the elite disciples to continue breaking through the siege. Battle began, and Lei Kang was not the only one trying to stop the people of the Black Mountain Sect from escaping. And there was not only one direction for the Black Mountain Sect's people to escape. Shadows were everywhere, encircling, blocking, and killing each other in various places. In the deep sky above the Black Mountain Sect, golden runes shook the void, black thunders roared, and powerful waves echoed in the sky. Compared to this intense battle, the ground fighting seemed ordinary. Sword, intense sword, and the powerful sword chi pierced through the clouds. The Earth-rank demon extermination, General Wei Zongqing of the Demon Suppression Army, was bathed in bright light, emitting dazzling flashes, and one law rune after another floated out, surrounding him, blocking the terrifying black silence, profound thunder. If you had crossed the Thunder Tribulation and truly advanced to the Rune Seed Realm, and then held this Black Mountain seal in your hand, even I would not easily deal with you. Unfortunately, you have hesitated to cross the tribulation for too long, and today you can only die under my sword with the Black Mountain Sect destroyed. The Black Mountain Sect Master was indifferent. What more could he say now? He didn't want to say more, wishing only to use the entirety of his power, mobilizing the Black Mountain Seal to block this mighty enemy. The Black Mountain Seal, as the Sect's treasure, took a heavy toll on him to drive it with only half-step rune seed realm strength, one unknown to outsiders. However, his originally slightly dark head of hair now had a few strands of white. Obviously, driving the Black Mountain Seal with insufficient strength had caused him no small sequelae. But at this critical moment, he had to stand up, even if it meant falling for good. Again driving the Black Mountain Seal, countless terrifying black silence, profound thunder spread across the void. Their terrifying power devoured all light, and the only thing that could contend with them was the law rune, flickering with golden brilliance. The collision of the two produced a terrifying ripple, shaking the void and making everyone sweat. Thankfully, this battle took place in the deep sky. Otherwise, the surrounding land of the Black Mountain sect for tens of thousands of miles would be completely destroyed. Even so, the fluctuations in the deep sky were extremely terrifying. The people of the Black Mountain sect dared not fly, and the various martial academy disciples and independent martial cultivators also dared not chase through the air, fighting through the mountains and wilds instead. Chapter 322: The Fall of the Black Sect Master, Arrival of the Supreme Elder on us. Despite this, the golden runes and black profound thunder unintentionally fell from the depths of the sky, causing mountains to explode and many people to get caught in the aftermath, ultimately falling to their deaths. You fought me to this extent even as a half-step rune seed realm martial artist, and even if you relied on the treasure, it's still worthy of pride. Wei Zongqing looked at the white-haired Black Mountain sect master in the distance and spoke in a deep voice. At this time, the opponent's vitality had already been exhausted, visibly aging. Forcibly driving the Black Mountain Seal had consumed more than half of his lifespan, and his life was nearing its end. I haven't reached my limit yet. The Black Mountain sect master's figure charged up once again. All of the life force in his body was injected into the Black Mountain Seal. The black profound thunder in the depths of the sky crackled and rolled like a tidal wave. It's just futile struggling. 79 law runes appeared again around Wei Zongqing, each one almost transforming into a vast golden ocean, together encircling the black profound thunder. For a time, disastrous black thunderclouds burst in the depths of the sky, creating powerful fluctuations. The golden runes, interwoven into a vaster scene, seemed incredibly brilliant, but the oppressive aura they released made people tremble with fear. Gradually, the black thunder slowly subsided, and the depths of the sky returned to calm. A golden light fell like a meteor. Finally, Wei Zongqing emerged from the depths of the sky, with golden runes surrounding him. His left hand held a black seal resembling a mountain, and his right hand held a golden longsword. The Black Mountain sect master has been killed by me, and their sect's treasure has fallen into my hands. All demon extermination guards, martial academy disciples, and martial artists, listen to my command. Attack the Black Mountain sect with full force, and don't let any of them escape. Kill. All the demon extermination guards, martial academy disciples, and martial artists showed no hesitation. They split into more than 10 groups, chasing and killing the fleeing Black Mountain sect disciples. This bloody battle was extraordinarily brutal. Amidst the bombardment of true origin, severed limbs flew through the air and blood splattered everywhere. Life seemed incredibly fragile in this moment. Elder, senior brother, junior sister, the many disciples of the Black Mountain sect roared in grief. Seeing their fellow sect members fall before their very eyes, even the most hardened of men couldn't help but shed tears. Moreover, these elders, senior brothers, and senior sisters were all trying to protect them, risking their lives to block the powerful enemies. Go this way. Another powerful Black Mountain sect elder appeared, standing in front of the disciples to guard them as they fled. He activated his true origin, killing the advancing demon extermination guards and independent martial cultivators, blocking others from catching up while allowing the disciples to escape quickly. Junior brothers, this person is at least at the middle stage of the golden body realm. We should not be reckless. Chiao Guyun cautioned the disciples of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy as they flew behind him. By Haoshuan, Bailey Yi and the others nodded. With their current strength, killing some Black Mountain sect disciples in the transforming origin realm was manageable, but they wouldn't stand a chance against a golden body realm expert. You all continue chasing. This person is mine. At this moment, Lu Yun's figure appeared before them. Yes, same child. Chiao Guyun and the others passed by Lu Yun and continued chasing ahead. Cold light burst in the eyes of the Black Mountain sect elder as he looked at Lu Yun. Just a later stage origin fluid realm cultivator. You think you can stop me? Even so, he did not pay attention to Lu Yun. Instead, he brazenly summoned the power of the earth and sky, transforming it into a giant hand, reaching out to grab Chiao Guyun and the others. Seeing this, Lu Yun remained indifferent. With a thought, the golden edge sword fang flew out, transforming into a giant golden sword, tearing apart the elder's giant hand. At the same time, a shimmering golden halo fell from the void, as if forged of gold. It suddenly magnified, like a golden world, suppressing the elder. Intense fear rose in the elder's heart as the 100 refined Vajra ring filled his vision. Forcing himself to suppress the impulse to flee, he hurriedly drove his yuan high, unleashing a torrent of true origin. However, under the terrifying suppressive power, he had no strength to resist. Unsurprisingly, this mid-stage golden body realm elder of the Black Mountain sect was directly killed by Lu Yun using the 100 refined Vajra ring. Looking at the corpse on the ground, which was covered in golden blood, Lu Yun's deep gaze carried a touch of emotion. This 100 refined Vajra ring is indeed extremely powerful. Even the body of a golden body realm expert can't withstand its suppressing power. He discovered that the two treasures he had obtained from the Golden Ho Beast, the Golden Edge Sword Fang and 100 refined Vajra ring, all possessed incredible power. Frankly, he originally thought that these two treasures were at best equivalent to mysterious instruments. But now, it was far from as simple as he thought. This Black Mountain sect elder was a mid-stage golden body realm expert, contributing 800 demon extermination points to Lu Yun. Adding the dozens of transforming origin realm and origin fluid realm disciples he killed earlier, along with an early-stage golden body realm elder, Lu Yun now had more than 1,500 demon extermination points. Killing a late-stage golden body realm 100 sect expert gives me 1,600 demon extermination points. It seems that killing all these people still isn't as rewarding as killing a late-stage golden body realm. Lu Yun muttered to himself and then quickly shook his head. Although his strength was incredible, he could easily kill ordinary golden body realm experts. However, the Black Mountain sect didn't have that many golden body realm experts, and their enemies wouldn't just wait to be killed by him. Now that the people of the Black Mountain sect had either escaped or died, pursuing them wouldn't yield much. Lu Yun's eyes flickered, and after pondering for a moment, he made a decision. As the Black Mountain sect disciples were suddenly attacked, there must be a lot of resources left behind in the sect. While the war was still ongoing, he should hurry and seize them. If he was lucky, this extra loot would far exceed what he would gain from chasing down the Black Mountain sect disciples. On the way back, Lu Yun found that there were quite a few people who had the same idea as him. Moreover, most of them were independent martial cultivators. Obviously, compared to martial academy disciples, these independent martial cultivators were more skilled and experienced in such matters, and they were even faster than Lu Yun. Lu Yun glanced at the spirit field beside him, which only contained low-grade spirit herbs that could be used at most to refine first and second-grade pills. Seeing the severe damage, Lu Yun didn't look much further, sped up, and rushed toward the main peak of the Black Mountain sect. Once the war was over, no one would be allowed to loot resources. So Lu Yun had to hasten his pace. The main peak's array had already been destroyed, with many independent martial cultivators shuttling through it. It was unknown if there were any gains. Just as Lu Yun was annoyed by his own hesitation, he suddenly sensed a terrifying aura rapidly approaching at a horrifying speed in the void. Sensing the vast aura, Lu Yun's expression changed. The incoming person might be infinitely close to the Rune Seed realm. At present, his limit strength was at most to contend with peak Golden Body realm martial artists. If he encountered a stronger opponent, he would have almost no chance of winning. Without much thought, he immediately used Instant Horizon and quickly disappeared from the main peak. Just a few breaths after he left, a burly figure arrived at the main peak from the back mountain amidst the space shaking. Seeing the destroyed palace on the main peak and numerous martial artists shuttling through it, wantonly harvesting resources, extreme coldness filled the pale golden eyes. Damn it! It's really damn it! He hadn't expected that he would only be in a life and death seclusion for a short time, and when he reappeared, this was the scene he saw. With the sect protection array broken, the spirit field destroyed, ruins everywhere, and not a single living sect disciple in sight. Only corpses, it was clear how furious this Black Mountain sect expert was. Immediately after, a series of miserable screams resounded. Before long, the blood on the main peak flowed into a river. Hundreds of miles away, Lu Yun felt relieved as he sensed the shocking fluctuations behind him. Thanks to his quick escape, he wouldn't have to face that powerful opponent who could have left him seriously injured even if he didn't die. Chapter 323 Thunder Tribulation. Within the Black Mountain sect, the cries of battle shook the sky. All the independent martial cultivators were surging forward, wanting to take advantage of this rare opportunity to seize a fortune of their own. The 3 halls and 9 peaks of the Black Mountain sect, along with various spirit fields and the book collection pavilion, were their primary targets, making the scene extremely lively. The scripture repository is empty. It has been moved long ago. Let us pursue them. Their high-ranking figures and elite disciples must have cultivation techniques on them. A late-origin, fluid realm independent martial cultivator shouted his order. There were many martial artists around him, each with varying degrees of success. Some even managed to empty the remaining book collection of Black Mountain sect. After everything was looted, they set fire to the spirit fields and buildings. In an instant, smoky flames were everywhere. Such audacity! A stout elder, seeing the ruinous state of the peaks, had his eyes turning red. His body was entwined with golden runes and rushed into the crowd of martial artists. Boom! An intense green light consisting of runes flew out. They were extraordinarily dense, crashed into the crowd with a loud rumble. Those independent martial cultivators from all parts of Ling Province who showed greedy expressions immediately screamed in pain. Soon after, the bodies of dozens of martial artists exploded. With just one strike, the area was cleared. All martial artists were lying on the ground with their bodies shattered, none of them intact. This old fellow is terrifying. Let's fight together and kill him. One of the independent martial cultivator in the Golden Body realm yelled. With a boom, the stout elder swept across the air. A green light made up of runes chopped down, and the Golden Body realm cultivator immediately blew up into a bloody rain, shocking everyone present. "It's the Supreme Elder! Supreme Elder has come out!" exclaimed the disciples of the Black Mountain sect, their faces filled with excitement at the sight of this powerful and domineering elder. Jiang Ku, hasn't he transcended the Thunder Tribulation yet? Zhuo Chuya recognized the Supreme Elder of the Black Mountain sect the moment he saw him. The most potent forces of the Black Mountain sect were the Supreme Elder and the Sect Master. Both were at the half-step Rune Seed realm. According to the information he obtained, Jiang Ku stopped managing the sect 5 years ago and started his life and death seclusion. What they referred to as the life and death seclusion was the thunder tribulation for advancing to the rune seed realm. After a golden body realm cultivator condenses rune seeds, they reach the pseudo-rune seed realm, also known as the half-step rune seed realm. Only after experiencing the baptism of thunder tribulation can one formally advance to the rune seed realm. However, less than 30% of those who survive the thunder tribulation can advance to the rune seed realm. Most people die under the tribulation. Because the thunder tribulation of the rune seed realm was so terrifying, many martial artists chose to halt at the half-step rune seed realm, not daring to trigger the thunder tribulation recklessly. Jiang Ku, who had been in the half-step rune seed realm for decades, started preparing for the tribulation when the sect master of Black Mountain Sect had condensed his rune seeds and had reached the half-step rune seed realm, gaining the ability to use the sect's treasure, the Black Mountain Seal. However, judging from his current state, it seems like he has not yet finished transcending the tribulation. No, it should be that he is getting ready to face the thunder tribulation now. Zhuochuya looked up at the sky. As expected, the sky was suddenly darkened by gathering clouds, turning pitch black. Not good. He has already triggered the thunder tribulation. Zhuoqiwai's face changed slightly, and he immediately withdrew. Although he could extinguish the thunder tribulation associated with the advancement to the rune seed realm with a single hand at his peak strength, he was currently far from his peak and absolutely couldn't afford to get involved. Those who dare to move against the Black Mountain Sect must pay the price in blood. The supreme elder of the Black Mountain Sect roared, heading forward with the dense black clouds above him. Booming! Within the dark clouds, thunders were brewing, implying a threat of unimaginable scale. Not good. Whether it was the Demon Suppression Army, the people from the Martial Academy, or the independent martial cultivators, their faces turned pale with terror. No one imagined that someone would trigger the thunder tribulation at this time, which was extremely disadvantageous to them. Anyone within the range of the thunder tribulation, regardless of who they were, would be targeted. Moreover, the more people there are, the more terrifying the thunder tribulation becomes. That's why generally martial artists choose a sparsely populated place when transcending tribulations. Firstly, to avoid any disturbances, and secondly, to keep the power of the thunder tribulation under control. But right now, the opponent completely ignored the taboos of transcending a tribulation and forcefully triggered the thunder tribulation. It was clear that he was risking his life. Facing such a powerful and fearless person, no one dared to provoke him, so they all fled. Supreme Elder! Upon seeing Jiang Ku pushing towards the thunder tribulation, the disciples of Black Mountain Sect felt both moved and helpless. If they were not careful, even they would be dragged into the thunder tribulation and never return. However, given the current situation where they were surrounded and blocked by the Demon Suppression Army everywhere, wanting to forcefully break through, triggering the thunder tribulation seemed to be the best method. Fight! Let's break through together. Even if it costs me my life, I will get you all out, Jiang Ku roared, completely ignoring the looming thunder tribulation. General Wei, what should we do now? Among the Demon Suppression Army, a black-rank demon extermination general asked Wei Zongqing. Wei Zongqing stood high in the sky, looking down at everything below, his face calm. Although the 1 to 3 thunder tribulation is the weakest form of thunder tribulation, I dare not get involved, or else it would be hard to escape. He had only recently become an Earth-rank demon extermination envoy. Compared to the other envoys, his strength was relatively not that great. He was not qualified to face the 1 to 3 thunder tribulation for advancing to the rune seed realm. If you wish to be unaffected by the 1 to 3 thunder tribulation, only the top Earth-rank demon extermination generals or heavenly-leveled demon extermination generals would be capable. Chapter 324 Thunder Tribulation _2 Beneath the Army Commander and Vice Commander of the Demon Suppression Army, There are 4 levels of demon extermination generals: heavenly, earth, black, and yellow ranks, and the rest are demon extermination guards. Among them, the heavenly level demon extermination generals are the strongest, with the weakest being in the Golden Core realm. Some are even at the peak of the Golden Core realm, only a step away from becoming a celestial human. The Earth rank demon extermination generals have strengths ranging from the early to peak stages of the Rune Seed realm. Black rank demon extermination generals have strengths ranging from the early to peak stages of the Golden Body realm. The black rank demon extermination general standing beside Wei Zongqing was at the peak of the Golden Body realm. He was one of the strongest demon extermination generals under Wei Zongqing's command, and his name was Shangsong. Meanwhile, Wei Zongqing was currently only at the early stage of the Rune Seed realm, having not long ago become an Earth rank demon extermination general. However, he had cultivated a near top-grade Rune Seed, giving him a strength comparable to the mid-Rune Seed realm. Among the numerous demon extermination generals, he was by no means weak. We do not need to push them too hard. After the Thunder Tribulation, we will pursue and kill them. Wei Zongqing contemplated for a moment and gave his order. Now the sect protection array of the Black Mountain sect was broken. The sect master was killed by him, and the sect treasure, Black Mountain Seal, had fallen into his hands. What remained were merely the few stray cats and dogs of the Black Mountain sect, aside from the fearless Supreme Elder. Even if these escaped, it wouldn't be much of a problem. For this reason, he did not want to put too much pressure on them, to avoid causing excessive losses to the demon suppression army under his command. Upon seeing the enemy retreat and clear a path for the people of the Black Mountain sect, a ruthless smile spread across Jiang Ku's old face. Some of the martial artists who did not manage to escape in time were dragged into the Thunder Tribulation, causing the range of his 1 to 3 Thunder Tribulation to expand again. The black clouds in the sky became denser, and the developing power of the Thunder Tribulation increased further. Boom! At the moment when the pitch-black clouds collided completely, a thunderous sound was heard, and a massive lightning bolt fell like a mountain, striking the ground. The martial artists who were drawn into the Thunder Tribulation screamed and evaded with all their strength, but no matter whether their realms were the transforming origin fluid, or gold body, their speed was no match for the lightning bolts, especially those in the Thunder Tribulation with consciousness. In just one encounter, those martial artists who were drawn into it had their bodies blown to pieces, their bright red blood dyeing the world a bloody red. Jiang Ku, the one who triggered the Thunder Tribulation, received the most terrifying lightning. The thick, horrifying lightning fell straight from the sky, ruthlessly striking him. This lightning could not be dodged. It completely enclosed him. The heavy electric energy filled the world, allowing people far away to feel its terrifying power. Boom! The purple lightning fell, and its extraordinary power exploded, instantly smiting Jiang Ku's gold body into a bloody mess. Golden blood dripped from the air, staining the mountain peak golden. From a distance, Lu Yun watched this scene, his heart pounding. At the same time, he had a premonition that if he could withstand just one of these terrifying lightning strikes, his thunderbolt intent would undergo a qualitative improvement. However, this was the 1 to 3 Thunder Tribulation one had to withstand in order to advance to the Rune Seed realm. Not only was there one bolt of lightning, but he would also not be able to withstand the stronger and more terrifying second and third lightning strikes. The Thunder Tribulation during the advancement to the Rune Seed realm is known as the 1 to 3 Thunder Tribulation, with 3 different intensities of lightning strikes. The first lightning strike is the weakest, and most half-step Rune Seed realm martial artists can resist it with their sturdy gold body. The power of the second lightning strike is slightly stronger, roughly twice that of the first. Half of those who undergo the tribulation can persist through it. The third lightning strike is the most terrifying, twice as powerful as the second. Almost all martial artists who advance to the Rune Seed realm fall during this final lightning strike. Now, even with the first lightning strike, Lu Yun did not feel very confident, because the two gold body realm powerhouses who were accidentally drawn and could not withstand the bombardment of the first lightning strike and died instantly on the spot. Although he was not at the gold body realm or the peak of the gold body, his realm was merely at the origin fluid. His body had not yet completed its transformation, and he was still far from the strength of a true peak gold body realm powerhouse. Once this man has passed his tribulation, this battle for the destruction of the Black Mountain sect will most likely officially end. I must seize this time to thoroughly scavenge for resources. Lu Yun murmured to himself and secretly left. Jiang Ku, having been immersed in the half-step Rune Seed realm for many years, managed to withstand it all even though many martial artists were swept up in the 1 to 3 thunder tribulation, amplifying its intensity significantly. At this point, despite being severely injured and bleeding golden blood, his aura had become even stronger. Every time he survived a thunder tribulation, his body would grow stronger due to the tribulation's blessing. After the Rune Seed absorbed the tribulation power, it would become more refined. However, the damage inflicted on the body by the tribulation power is irreversible, indicating that Jiang Ku will face the second thunder tribulation with his broken body. General Wei, do you think this Supreme Elder from Black Mountain sect can successfully cross the tribulation? Earth Rank Demon Extermination General Shangsang asked with some concern. If their adversary manages to advance to the Rune Seed realm, it may be difficult for them to stop him. If he does achieve the state of Rune Seed realm and chooses to escape rather than fight, it would be nearly impossible to kill him without overwhelming power. No worries. Even if he survives the first thunder tribulation, he may not weather the second. Not to mention, the third thunder tribulation is far more formidable than the previous two, Wei Zongqing said with a calm demeanor, showing no concern. Even if Jiang Ku miraculously survives all 3 thunder tribulations, he would be heavily injured and surrounded by many people with no chance of escape. Boom! The world was filled with intense brightness and nothing could be seen. This was the second thunder tribulation brewing. Thunderbolts colliding in the black cloud sea, unleashing unparalleled power. The momentum was so great that it shook the void, causing everyone to tremble involuntarily and run for their lives. Anyone could tell just how powerful and terrifying this thunder tribulation was. Even the strongest combatant in the Rune Seed realm would likely only possess comparable power. A figure dashed out from the middle, the Supreme Elder of the Black Mountain sect. He was glowing all over, with golden runes appearing all over his body, forming a pair of golden wings. With a light shake, the wings split the sky and earth. Golden rune wings. Wei Zongqing was taken aback upon seeing this. The thunderbolts falling from the sky were almost half blocked by his wings. Hold back! Jiang Ku roared, his gold-colored wings fluttering and wrapped in countless runes, crackling as they resisted the thunderbolts from the sky, fiercely absorbing the tribulation power within them. This guy has actually fused the Rune Seed with his physical body. He's forcefully pursuing the path of physical enlightenment. Wei Zongqing was slightly surprised. Physical enlightenment is the complete fusion of the Rune Seed realm with the body, which signifies that after advancing to the Rune Seed realm, there are no further prospects for progress. However, this approach has one advantage. It greatly strengthens the physical body, thereby significantly increasing the likelihood of surviving the 1 to 3 thunder tribulation. No wonder he appeared sturdy and strong at first glance, with a powerful body and an abundance of vitality. Turns out he has embarked on the path of physical enlightenment. Wei Zongqing glanced at the 3 people next to him. Earth Rank Demon Extermination General Shangsang, Elder Lei Kang from the Flying Spirit Martial Academy, and Elder Tan Chin from the South Sun Martial Academy. He said, "This person has fused the rune seed with his body, pursuing physical enlightenment. There is a certain chance that he may survive the thunder tribulation. Once the thunder tribulation has ended, I will deliver a fatal blow to him. You three, prepare for defense. At no cost should he manage to escape. If a combatant in the rune seed realm manages to escape, then their mission to exterminate the Black Mountain sect would have failed by half. He absolutely would not allow this outcome to occur. All right." After exchanging a glance, Shang Tsung, Lei Kang, and Tan Qin moved to occupy 3 different directions to thoroughly block Jiang Ku's escape routes. Meanwhile, Wei Zongcheng's golden eyes were fixed intently on Jiang Ku amidst the thunder tribulation. At this moment, Jiang Ku had survived the second thunder tribulation. The injuries to his flesh became even graver, but his power had become even more terrifying. The pair of wings, composed of golden runes that appeared on his body, became more solid after absorbing the tribulation power. Rumble. In the sky above, the more terrifying tribulation cloud gathered, causing rolling thunder. "I hope you don't die under this thunder tribulation," Wei Zongqing murmured softly. A silver-white spear materialized from the void behind him. Chapter 325. Destruction of Black Mountain Sect. 80 Zhang Yuan see killing a half-step rune seed realm and killing a genuine rune seed realm results in a vast difference in the acquired demon extermination points. However, Jiang Ku, the supreme elder of the Black Mountain Sect, used his own rune seed as a medium, severed his future prospects, and transformed it into a divine ability, absorbing the power of thunder tribulation to strengthen himself. After the tribulation has ended, even if his flesh has not yet healed, he possesses astonishing battle strength and must be prevented from escaping. Even I couldn't pass through such thunder tribulation, but if it was— Lei Kang raised his head, looking at the dark, rolling clouds in the sky, his face solemn. At the peak of the golden body realm, cultivators can refine their bodies to the limit, attract the laws of heaven and earth, begin engraving runes, and eventually condense rune seeds. After experiencing the baptism of thunder tribulation, they can advance to the genuine rune seed realm. Now he has already engraved more than 70 runes, which is his limit. More than 70 runes can form a mid-level rune seed and have good foundation and prospect of achieving a golden core. However, condensing runes into rune seeds is not that simple, and he is currently stuck at this point. The most dreaded thing for martial artists condensing rune seeds is the thunder tribulation. But for them, martial artists at the peak of the golden body realm, the most challenging part is condensing rune seeds. Only by condensing rune seeds can they use the law of runes and control the power of heaven and earth. At this moment, the thunder tribulation brewing within the dark clouds finally transformed into a torrent of lightning and struck down. The terrifying tribulation power struck fear and horror into everyone's hearts. Jiang Ku stood on the mountain peak, looking up at the void, his tall body covered in blood. A pair of golden wings flickered with runes, radiating divine light. The lightning torrent of the tribulation thunder came crashing down directly. For a moment, Jiang Ku's body trembled, and the golden rune wings spread out, taking on countless lightning, and the rolling thunder, like a reversed heavenly river, carried an overwhelming force that suppressed heaven and earth. Jiang Ku was like a flat boat in the vast ocean, barely holding on with the wings formed by condensing rune seeds. Shaken and swaying but never falling, boom! The mountains beneath his feet trembled crazily as if they were about to completely collapse, and countless thunder tribulation currents overflowed. The horrifying power stirred fear in the Mori Jin demon suppression army and the other martial artists, forcing them to continue retreating. If they were not careful and got affected by the thunder tribulation, they would be wiped out. Thousands of thunder tribulations. Forge my immortal gold body. As the thunder tribulation roared down, Jiang Ku wasn't defeated, but instead seemed even more spirited. His golden wings were exceptionally solid, the runes dazzling and as vast as the sea. This was the reason he was willing to sever his future and merge his rune seed with his body. What if he could overcome the thunder tribulation and remain in the early stage of the rune seed realm for the rest of his life? As long as he survived the thunder tribulation, not only would his strength surge, but he could also extend his lifespan by 100 years, which was not impossible. Even if you can survive the thunder tribulation, can you survive the killing tribulation before you right now? Wei Zongqing stood silently in the void, and the silver-white lance behind him circulated its light, emitting an immense and powerful aura. As soon as the thunder tribulation ended, he would strike with the might of thunder and kill the enemy. Disperse! Jiang Ku spread his wings, and the vast sea of runes flowed, causing the earth to tremble. The thunder reversed, and the pitch-black clouds of tribulation receded. A ray of sunlight returned, and the earth was finally restored to its former brightness. Once I survive the thunder tribulation, from this moment, I will be in the rune seed realm. Jiang Ku's messy hair flared, and he soared into the sky. His boundless power surged, stirring up a storm, shaking and swaying the void without stopping. Ha ha ha! After more than 800 years, my Black Mountain sect finally has a rune seed realm powerhouse, and from now on, we will no longer be at the mercy of others. He cried excitedly, looking up at the sky. A pair of golden wings spread out, releasing a vast number of runes. Kill! Wei Zongcheng's eyes sharpened, and the terrifying silver-white lance behind him transformed into a streak of light that pierced through the heavens and earth, striking down sideways. Feeling the terrifying crisis above his head, Jiang Ku moved horizontally with an almost incredible speed. A pair of golden wings swirled, engulfed by countless runes. With a puff, the lance pierced through the runes, penetrated the golden wings, and fell heavily onto a mountain peak. The unparalleled power erupted, causing the sky to split, the earth to shatter, and the rivers to cascade. Although Jiang Ku's body appeared broken, and there was a huge scar on his golden wings, his spirit remained high and his eyes were bright. Today, I have already advanced to the rune seed realm, and you should not try to stop me. With a light whistle, he suddenly turned around, his wings spread, attempting to ride the clouds and escape from the Black Mountain sect. Want to escape? No way. Wei Zongqing snorted coldly. With a wave of his hand, ripples appeared in the void behind him. More than 10 silver-white lances recondensed and formed, and under his control, they transformed into more than 10 streaks of light, stabbing forward. The silver-white light was like an ocean, and the golden runes surged chaotically, drowning the sky. The metallic killing intent proliferated, sealing off this area of heaven and earth with the killing array. No one can stop me. Jiang Ku's golden eyes revealed a fierce light. He spread his wings, and a shimmering golden sea of runes poured out, cutting through heaven and earth, severing everything, breaking the silver-white lances and bursting through the killing array. However, to his surprise, a golden rain of light fell, disturbing the sky and earth, and more silver-white lances pierced through the void, forming an even more horrifying, peerless killing array. Jiang Ku knew that his chances of escaping today were extremely slim, but he would never give up. The Black Mountain sect had waited more than 800 years before having another rune seed realm powerhouse. If he fell here, he would not only betray the sect's hundreds of years of hiding, but also his own 200 years of cultivation. Chapter 326. Black Mountain sect destroyed. 80 feet yuan high _to kill. He rushed forward, his entire body turning golden yellow. Gusts of wind and thunder surrounded him, with runes and laws interwoven in a cave-like formation. They transformed into a beam of golden light, attempting to forcibly break through the sealed heaven and earth before him. Thump, thump. In an instant, Powerful fluctuations emerged in the deep sky, and an overwhelming force pressed down. It shook the mountains, making rivers weep. Ultimately, ripples appeared in the void, revealing a golden light. Like a golden meteor, it fell to the ground at an extreme speed. Puff! Jiang-Ku coughed up blood. His robust body was pierced, golden blood streaming out, and his incomplete wings were shrouded in winding golden runes. Gradually, they became faint and unstable. The robust body finally fell helplessly, as there was no longer any life within it. The terrifying gunmetal chi in his body erupted, and his body exploded into pieces. Jiang-Ku was indeed powerful, but having just survived the thunder tribulation, his physical body was greatly damaged. His strength was only about 40 to 50% of his peak. Compared to Wei Zongqing, an Earth-rank demon extermination general of the Demon Suppression Army, his strength was too lacking. As they stared at the gradually calming deep sky and the shattered body of Jiang-Ku, Shang Tsung, Lei Kang, and Tanchen all heaved a sigh of relief. If Jiang-Ku had really managed to break through Wei Zongqing's attack, the three of them would have had no chance of stopping a Rune Seed Realm Powerhouse's ambush. At this moment, Wei Zongqing gracefully descended from the sky, with runes flowing beneath his feet. With a detached expression, he looked down at the world below him. God of War, the general is a god of war. Many in the Demon Suppression Army cheered with joy and looked up at Wei Zongqing with admiration. He forcefully killed the sect master of the Black Mountain sect, seized their precious treasure, the Black Mountain seal, and killed the supreme elder Jiang-Ku. With such astonishing strength, the demon suppression guards regarded him as a divine figure, and their admiration was genuine. Supreme Elder! Those who remained from the Black Mountain sect cried out in grief. The Supreme Elder that had protected their sect for centuries had fallen in battle, a great tragedy. Go! Hurry up! A low voice from the Black Mountain sect's second elder called out. He actively attacked the pursuing Demon Suppression Army and various martial artists to buy time for his fellow sect members. Unfortunately, he was already severely injured, and alone he couldn't make any impact. His life soon came to an end. I've delayed you long enough. I'll send you on your way for the last time. Wei Zongqing waved his hand, and runes filled the sky, killing off the remaining dozens of people from the Black Mountain sect. The ground beneath them was soaked in blood. From that moment on, there were no survivors from the Black Mountain sect. Transmit my command. The war is over. The Demon Suppression Army will begin the battlefield cleanup, and all Martial Academy personnel and other martial artists shall withdraw from the Black Mountain sect. His voice thundered out, covering 10,000 miles around. The numerous martial artists who had been scouring resources from the 3 halls and 9 peaks immediately stopped, leaving the Black Mountain sect to return to their battleships. Even on the road, no one dared to pick up any treasures or spirit herbs left behind. Once the war was over, all resources belonged to the Demon Suppression Army and the Great Morijin. This was taboo, and no martial artist dared to defy it. Is it over already? Lu Yin looked up at Wei Zongqing, who was floating in midair like a burning sun. Wei Zongqing's strength far exceeded Lu Yun's expectations. It was almost impossible for a powerhouse of the same realm to stop someone of the Rune Seed realm who was determined to flee. However, Jiang-Ku, an early-stage Rune Seed realm powerhouse and the Black Mountain sect's supreme elder, failed to escape. Wei Zongqing's attack killed him like a bolt from the blue. Jiang-Ku had just gone through a thunder tribulation and was not at his peak state, which likely contributed to his capture or killing. But even so, another early-stage Rune Seed realm powerhouse would struggle to achieve that. Wei Zongqing not only killed Jiang-Ku, but did so effortlessly. This demonstrated his terrifying power, worthy of being called an Earth-rank demon extermination general of the Great Morijin's Demon Suppression Army. Withdrawing his gaze, Lu Yin appeared on a mountain peak thousands of miles away. Lu Yin sat cross-legged on a green stone. Though he had killed fewer enemies in this battle, his harvest was rich. Both Golden Body Realm elders he had killed had plenty of spirit crystals and pills on them. There were even tens of thousands of spirit crystals and numerous 5th and 6th grade pills. Taking a look at the empty bookshelves in the Black Mountain Sect's book collection pavilion, Lu Yin felt a bit disappointed. Even the Sumi ring head searched had no cultivation techniques to offer. However, Lu Yin had been prepared for this and wasn't too disappointed. Even before arriving at the coastal area, Lu Yin knew that the 100 sects took their inheritance of cultivation techniques very seriously. They would not easily allow their disciples to take them out of their sect's book collection pavilion or cultivation hall. That would be too risky. Not obtaining cultivation techniques from the Black Mountain sect disciples and elders was normal. It will take some time for the Demon Suppression Army to clean up the battlefield. I can take this opportunity to enhance my strength. Opening the panel. Name: Lu Yin. Power: Flying Spirit Martial Academy. Cultivation Technique: Pure Yang Martial Cannon. Original Liquid Chapter: 1% accomplished. Astonishing Wind Saber Manual, 5th layer. Annihilation 100%. Life Destruction Saber Techniques, 2nd layer. Unparalleled Blood Blade 100%. Wind Thunder Manual, 3rd layer. Instant Horizon 100%. Fist Scripture, 1st layer. Red Sun Breaks the Sky 100%. Finger Scripture, 1st layer. Formless Tribulation Finger 100%. Innate Talent, Level 8 Martial Arts, Late Stage Origin Fluid Realm Energy Value. 65,000 automatically increases by 4 daily. Conception, Slaughter Conception, 5th rank 70%. Thunder Conception, 2nd rank 27%. Skill, Level 6 Alchemy Technique, 27%. Talent, White Lotus Flame, 4th rank 1%. Luck Value, 61 Flying Spirit Martial Academy St. Child, representing Flying Spirit Martial Academy and walking the world. Note 1. Luck value can enhance weapon or treasure grade and merge similar weapons. Note 2. Automatically increases by 1 daily. The huge energy value on the panel was accumulated by Lu Yin before he left the Pill Medicine building, and because of the expedition, he hadn't had time to convert all of this into strength. Now, taking advantage of the army's rest and cleanup of the battlefield, Lu Yin decided to push the original liquid chapter to a higher level. Consume 3,000 energy points. Raise the Pure Yang Martial Cannon original liquid chapter accomplishment to 11%. Consume Pure Yang Martial Cannon original liquid chapter. In the end, after consuming 30,000 energy points, the accomplishment of the Pure Yang Martial Cannon original liquid chapter reached 100%, achieving perfection. At the same time, endless heavenly and earthly spiritual chi surged and poured into Lu Yun's body, turning into a golden true origin river under the circulation of cultivation technique and injecting into the Yuan Hai. The originally 70 Zhang high golden Pure Yang Yuan Hai was now rapidly climbing. This climbing origin fluid continuously washed and subtly improved the strength of Lu Yun's body. High above the Black Mountain sect, Wei Zongqing, who had been as calm as an ancient well, seemed to sense something. His gaze shifted and looked in Lu Yun's direction. The golden pupils glowed with runes as his sight penetrated numerous obstacles, as if he could see the scene thousands of miles away. That little guy seems to be from the Flying Spirit Martial Academy. Such a powerful momentum from his breakthrough. After discovering the reason for the disturbance of heavenly and earthly spiritual energy, Wei Zongqing was quite shocked, and a strange expression appeared in his eyes. Before this, he Lu from Origin Martial Academy had asked him to help keep an eye on a disciple of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy, that is Lu Yin. At first, he had been puzzled as to why an ordinary Origin Fluid Realm disciple could be personally entrusted by Hilu, a Rune Seed realm powerhouse. Now he had finally understood some reasons. From the momentum of the breakthrough, this Flying Spirit Martial Academy's little guy has a deep foundation. If he can have such accumulations during the Golden Body Realm, a top-grade Rune Seed is hopeful. A top-grade Rune Seed without accidents would definitely become a true master of the Golden Core Realm. Such talent was deserving of the attention of Hilu, a Rune Seed realm powerhouse from Origin Martial Academy. He cultivated a mid-level Rune Seed, but it was a top-notch mid-level Rune Seed with a high chance of achieving Golden Core. Therefore, he merely appreciated Lu Yun's demonstrated talent without envy. He nodded slightly. The flashing rune in his eyes disappeared, and he withdrew his gaze and closed his eyes to rest again. It seemed that only Wei Zongqing, a Rune Seed realm powerhouse, knew about the commotion caused by Lu Yun's breakthrough. The three Golden Body realm peak powerhouses, Shan Tsang, Lei Kang, and Tanqin, did notice it. As for the other martial artists, they were even less capable. Only Zhuo Qiwai's gaze moved imperceptibly. Chapter 327, White Mountain Domain, attacking and killing sea beasts 2 days later in the early morning. The Dkman's extermination token hanging on Lu Yun's waist suddenly began to tremble. Are we setting off again? Standing up, Lu Yun's 80-foot-tall Yuan Hai calmed down and hid within his body. With instant horizon, he returned to the battleship in an instant. On the battleship, Lu Yun looked down and saw the land below clearly. The area that originally belonged to the Black Mountain sect had turned into ruins. Most notably, the 3 palaces and 9 peaks of the Black Mountain sect were severely damaged. The mountains were broken, shrouded in a desolate atmosphere. The Earth's vein was destroyed, so even if there were survivors from the Black Mountain sect, they would not be able to re-establish the sect here. This was the true annihilation of a sect with no chance of revival. As time passed slowly, the Demon Suppression Army, martial academies, and independent martial cultivators regrouped on their respective battleships. There are only a little over 8,000 people left in the Demon Suppression Army and a little over 1,000 independent martial cultivators. Lu Yun glanced at them and silently calculated the losses from this battle. Among them, nearly 2,000 people were lost from the Demon Suppression Army, and about 500 independent martial cultivators were lost. All 4 Golden Body Realm Elders from the Flying Spirit Martial Academy survived, but 1 disciple fell, and now only 9, including Lu Yun, remain. Additionally, the situation of South Sun Martial Academy was worse than that of Flying Spirit Martial Academy, having lost 2 genius disciples. Compared to independent martial cultivators and the Demon Suppression Army, the martial academics were in a much better state. This was also normal. The lowest realm within the martial academies was Transforming Origin Realm, and their superior talents made their actual strength much higher than their realm showed on the surface. Like Bailey E. from Flying Spirit Martial Academy, who was in the mid-stage of Transforming Origin Realm, but his true strength was even stronger than some at the peak of the Transforming Origin Realm. Especially after this battle, he had gained no small amount of experience, gradually approaching the late stage of the Transforming Origin Realm. After everyone had returned to the battleships, a massive oppressive force enveloped them, making them all breathless. High above in the sky, Wei Zongqing, the Earth-rank demon extermination general of the Demon Suppression Army, descended suddenly. Set off! Wei Zongqing gave the command commotionlessly, and the battleships began to take off amidst a series of rumbling noises. 2 days later, the battleships left the Black Mountain sect's territory and arrived at a new domain, the White Mountain Domain. The White Mountain Domain was the territory of the White Lotus sect in the nearby coastal area. At the moment, the vast White Mountain Domain was filled with terrifying killing intent. On the way, Lu Yun and the others on the battleships saw mountains shattered into pieces, rivers cut off by tremendous forces, countless abyss-like craters and battlefields permeated with horrifying killing intent. Wei Zongcheng's expression remained calm throughout the journey. With his deep-set eyes staring ahead, he suddenly noticed something and coldly ordered, "Head southeast." An hour later, everyone arrived above the remains of a sect. This was a group of broken mountains, shattered peaks, and destroyed palaces. The smell of blood almost pierced the heavens. On the highest peak, a broken corpse lay there. It was a human corpse. Even though it was dead, its terrifying pressure could still be faintly felt. It was clear that this person had been a rune seed realm expert while alive. Unfortunately, he was now dead with no signs of life. A large hole in his chest was the fatal wound. In other places, there were bodies everywhere. These belonged to the warriors of the 100 sect, the Demon Suppression Army, and the Independent Martial Cultivators. Normally, after the war was over, these bodies would end up as part of the soil, returning to nature. But now, several massive sea beasts were feasting on these human corpses, especially near the corpse of the Rune Seed Realm expert. A sea beast that was the largest among them belonged to the sea buffalo race. Its imposing aura was like a storm. The other sea beasts felt the terrifying power of the sea buffalo and didn't dare to approach. Even though the Rune Seed Realm expert's corpse was very tempting to them. "This human corpse is mine. You all go and cat the other corpses," the sea buffalo ordered and stepped forward. To the sea buffalo, the human Rune Seed Realm corpse was as valuable as a top-grade natural treasure. "Sea buffalo die." A loud and resonating voice rang out in the sky. It was Wei Zongcheng. As an Earth-rank demon extermination general, he had murderous intent towards the warriors of the 100 sects, but would not desecrate their corpses. Besides, the sea beasts were also enemies to the human race. Whenever they met, they would have to fight for life and death. He leaped, and in the void, runes flashed around him. Rippling patterns appeared, and silver-white spears emerged, exuding a terrifying surge of power. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The silver-white spears, as fast as lightning, tore through the air. Before they even completely fell, their formidable pressure caused the land to crack. A human Rune Seed Realm expert. The sea buffalo was surprised and angry, but not afraid. It was also a 7th rank sea beast, and not weaker than a human Rune Seed Realm expert. "Human, it is you who will die." The sea buffalo's massive body ascended into the sky, and its hoof-like fist struck the spear. Boom! The sea buffalo's enormous body was crushed and sent hurtling downwards, breaking a mountain peak. The surrounding sea beasts were sent flying as well. However, these sea beasts were all of the 6th rank with incredibly tough bodies, and they were not injured. Roar! A terrifying roar erupted, and the sea buffalo that had destroyed the mountain peak leaped high into the sky, standing on its 4 hooves in midair and stretching dozens of feet long. A pair of horns grew on its head, wrapped with dark clouds. Its shiny black fur seemed to swallow all light, while the radiating aura could make anyone feel an infinite sense of horror just by a quick glance. Chapter 328, White Mountain Domain. Attacking and killing sea beasts _ 2 dozens of feet long sea cow. Its hooves stomping on the void. Charged towards Wei Zongcheng. Wretched beast, die. Having previously struck a powerful blow that did not damage the sea cow, Wei Zongcheng was not surprised. Sea beasts dwell in the deep sea for years and have even stronger physiques than demon beasts. It would not be an easy matter to hurt them. But he did not fear, his golden pupils ignited with intense fighting spirit and a killing intent. The body of a 7th rank sea beast would be a bountiful harvest for him. Its blood would further enhance the strength of his demon suppression army. It was undeniable that Wei Zongcheng's strength was overwhelming. With a flick of his wrist, runes flickered like an immense sea pressing forward, forcing the sea cow's colossal body to tremble violently and retreat madly. Kill! With a jolt, the sea cow released 2 giant horns from its head, turning into 2 curved blades, tearing the sky apart and slashing at an extremely fast speed. These bovine horns had been tempered to be indestructible and had been used by the sea cow ever since it advanced to the 7th rank. They were unstoppable and could cut through the engraved law runes. Boom! However, at this moment, Wei Zongqing directly used his palm to forcefully collide with the bovine horns without any fear. His palms touched the horrifying horns, and the law runes shined brilliantly. Die! The sea cow opened its mouth wide, spitting out a burst of essence qi, which entered the horns, making them even more radiant and powerful. Boom, boom, boom! Wei Zongqing's palms continuously struck the horns, using all of his law runes. The collision between the two parties caused powerful waves that made the heavens and the earth tremble. Even the mountains beneath them were cracked by the intense battle fluctuations. At the same time, tenacious silver-white spears condensed in the void behind Wei Zongqing, piercing through the sky and targeting the sea cow's main body. Upon the sea cow's massive body, a green light rippled, deep and unfathomable like the sea. As the silver-white spears landed on the sea cow's body, they caused layers of ripples, immediately breaking apart. This spear was able to kill the human race strongest, who was at the rune seed realm, but it could not break through the body of the sea cow. It was evident from this how strong the deep-sea giant beast's physique was. "Ha ha, human race warrior, you still can't break through my body." The sea cow laughed wildly, making its horn attack Wei Zongqing even more intensely. As the intense battle between the two continued, it completely ignited the void and created waves that shook the mountains and caused the earth to crack. Now that the sea cow is entangled with the human race warrior, it is the best opportunity for us to seize the human rune seed realm warrior's body. A huge sea elephant with its eyes glinting suggested. Upon hearing these words, the hearts of the surrounding 6th rank sea beasts slightly stirred. For these 6th rank sea beasts, a human rune seed realm martial artist's flesh had tremendous benefits. If they could really share the feast, their chances of achieving the 7th rank in the future would be greater. Under normal circumstances, they would never dare defy the will of the sea cow. However, the situation was special at present, and they simply could not let go of this opportunity. "Caw, caw, what are we waiting for?" The winged seahorse was the first to charge out, stepping down on the residues of the slain human rune seed realm warrior and rushing toward his corpse. "Humph! Is the corpse of a human martial artist something that can be casually devoured by wretched beasts like you?" At this moment, a battleship flew horizontally, and the black rank demon extermination general, Shang shouted. In his hand appeared a longbow, its bowstring tightly drawn, the yuan high surging, and a fiery red arrow shot out forcefully. The arrow turned into a blazing, rainbow-like meteor, shining brilliantly, piercing through the sky and charging at the gigantic seahorse. The seahorse neighed, flapped its wings, and manifested a vast expanse of mysterious light that engulfed the arrow. However, the arrow was resplendent, flickering with dazzling light, and its momentum was unstoppable as it pierced through the mysterious light. With a plop, the fiery red arrow penetrated the body of the seahorse, causing it to explode, and blood splattered all over. Shansang, with his one-arrow power so powerful that it killed a 6th rank seahorse right away, was unquestionably the most formidable black rank demon extermination general under Wei Zongqing. You sea beasts should stay obediently in the sea instead of invading our land. Those who do will be killed without mercy. South Sun Martial Academy's Tan Chen's beard quivered as he flew above the battlefield. He reached out, and a huge palm print appeared in the void, flaming with intense fire that pressed down on the entire world beneath him. The giant palm pressed down quickly, boldly, and aggressively, causing the earth to crumble inch by inch. The weaker sea beasts below were panicked and could not withstand the pressure, ultimately being crushed into mincemeat. The battleship descended from the sky like a cloud covering the sun and blocking out the light. More human warriors have arrived, and there are so many of them. We are no match for them. Let's retreat first. A giant crab that was over 20 feet long spoke human language and charged out. Behind it, other sea beasts of the same kind followed, although they had lower ranks and weaker strength. One after another, they fled with the giant crab. Since you have come, don't leave. Lei Kang transformed into a thunderbolt and leaped out of the battleship, rushing towards the sky. With his hands outstretched, he connected with the power of the heaven and earth, and countless golden thunderbolts surged like a waterfall in reverse. With the overwhelming thunderous power, hundreds of sea crabs were killed, and the sixth-rank sea crab was also brutally struck, causing its body to explode and spill blood. Lei Kang's eyes flashed coldly, reaching his right hand out. A golden spear formed from condensed thunderbolts appeared, releasing a fierce and violent aura. Whiz! The golden thunderbolt spear shot through the void, penetrating the sea crab's body. The thunder roared, causing the flesh to explode and turning it into a cloud of blood. Chapter 329. The White Mountain Region. Attacking the sea beast _3. The coastal territories have always belonged to our sea clan, yet you humans have claimed it as your own, and now you even twist things around. An enormous shark, black as ink and spanning dozens of feet long, roared, its raspy voice accompanied by waves of dark energy. It was a mature, deep-sea giant shark, astonishingly powerful, closing in on the 7th rank. Its appearance in the coastal waters was for devouring the human martial artists, strengthening itself, and finding an opportunity to transcend. Now that the corpse of a rune seed realm human combatant was right here, if it could consume it, its chances of breakthrough would increase by 10%. With that in mind, it was not concerned about the approach of the human army. Its jaws opened wide, a whirlpool of energy ready to suck in the body of the rune seed realm combatant. Even in death, a rune seed realm combatant's body would form a forbidden zone, which only with the passage of time would disappear. Yet now, with a single inhalation by the giant shark, the forbidden zone formed by the rune seed realm combatant shattered instantly. The body was swept up by the current and swallowed by the shark. Ha ha! The body of a human rune seed realm combatant is indeed the ultimate tonic. As the powerful flow of energy surged within, the giant shark let out a defiant roar while crazily refining the energy to enhance its own body and bloodline. This is bad. This bastard's aura is fluctuating. It seems to be getting ready for a promotion. The trio's faces turned pale. A 6th-rank sea beast, even if a formidable one, they could grind it down due to their numbers and even kill it. But if it transcends and becomes a 7th-rank demon beast, they would be in big trouble. We need to strike. We have to kill it and not let it transcend. Shangsang, Tanchen, and Lei Kang, the 3 peak golden body realm combatants, launched a joint attack against this sea beast. Naturally, this sea beast on the verge of breakthrough invoked trepidation within the trio, who joined forces without reservation. Within the demon suppression army, countless black-rank demon extermination generals stepped up. The elders of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy and South Sun Martial Academy also descended from their battleships, hunting down the sea beasts. The human race's flesh was greatly beneficial to the sea beasts to advance their strength and purify their bloodline. And these sea beasts could also be considered as a resource for human cultivation. The 3 of you are not strong enough. Stay in the battleship. Lu Yin intercepted by Haoshuan, Guyuan, and Bailey Yi as they showed an inclination to join the battle. Bailey Yi was only at the mid-stage of the transforming origin realm. Guyuan and Bai Haoshuan were just at the late stage of the same realm. The weakest of the sea beasts below was of the 5th rank, making it too dangerous for them to join the fight. As the Martial Academy's Saint Child, he wouldn't let them jeopardize their lives. But Bai Haoshuan gazed at the sea beasts, his heart filled with longing. If he could procure the flesh of some high-level sea beasts, his chances of advancing to the peak of Tao Meridian Transformation Realm would improve. Gu Yuan and Bailey Yi also had similar thoughts. but they also understood their limitations. Wait for me to return. Lu Yun naturally noticed their aspirations. He also believed they weren't strong enough and needed to improve. Otherwise, they could easily fall in the upcoming battles. I've already consumed lots of human flesh. If given enough time to digest it all, my strength will advance significantly. I need to leave this place as quickly as possible. A sea lion darted swiftly through the mountains. It paid no attention to the sea crab on the verge of transcendence or the other sea beasts. It was always very cautious and careful. When Wei Zongqing appeared, it had already started to retreat. Where do you think you're going? The sun fell from the sky, dazzling the sea lion that could hardly keep its eyes open. However, it could vaguely sense that it was a human, emanating a scintillating golden light. The brilliance illuminated the mountains in an astonishing show of power. Behind him seemed to be an endless golden ocean, immense and profound. The surges emitted an extraordinarily intimidating prestige. A human origin fluid realm martial artist. The sea lion finally adapted to the abrupt golden light and recognized the human's aura. Chapter 330. Fist killing a sea lion. Fierce battle with a deep-sea giant shark. Just an origin fluid realm trying to stop me? Seeking death. The sea lion snaps back to reality, its mouth spewing thunder, its eyes flashing divine light, with overwhelming pressure as deep as the ocean sweeping towards Lu Yun, creating a shocking, monstrous wave. The origin fluid realm is just the 5th realm of the human race, equivalent to a 5th-rank sea beast. In its view, it can easily suppress him with a wave of its hand. Lu Yun's single-handed press sets off the turbulent 250 m of primordial sea behind him, dazzling with golden light, and the vast momentum descending like an entire world. Morning winds howled, pure yang-strong origin shone like a blazing sun, scorching the sky, illuminating everything. The sky turned bright, forcing the sea lion's massive body to retreat, causing the ground beneath its feet to crack. How can a human be so strong? The sea lion's deep eyes changed color. Just by judging from the brief clash, it sensed immense pressure from Lu Yun. This pressure, even when faced with top 6th realm human powerhouses, has never been so great. Kill! Lu Yun responds with only one word. Lu Yun beckons with one hand, and a golden light glides out from the void behind him, transforming into a magnificent giant sword, slashing down. Seeing this, the sea lion doesn't dare underestimate it, and hurriedly dodges, narrowly avoiding the strike. Behind it, a towering mountain peak cracks in half with a crisp sound. Lu Yun continuously summons, and 8 golden lights fly out from the emptiness behind him, turning into 8 enormous sword lights, forming into an arc and chasing the fleeing sea lion. Wherever the sea lion escapes, it is pursued. Along the way, one mountain peak after another is effortlessly cut open, accompanied by thunderous roars. This human is terrifyingly powerful. Today's matter may be difficult to end well. I must fight with all my might. Seeing the 9 giant swords following behind, the sea lion's eyes flicker with cold light, stealing its heart, no longer fleeing, but spewing a crystal ball from its mouth, only the size of a fist, shimmering and radiant. It suddenly expands, forming a turquoise water curtain. This crystal ball, created by grinding the powerful sea beast's eyeball from the deep sea, is solid green and forms an unrivaled defensive water curtain when sacrificed. Ding! 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 The 9 transformed giant swords fall on the water curtain, causing waves, but aren't able to break it open. With this treasure, I'm invincible. Human, don't bother entangling any further. Seeing the crystal ball successfully blocking his opponent's attack, the sea lion breathes a sigh of relief, its speech carrying a hint of arrogance. However, at this moment, Lu Yun summons back the 9 golden swords on his back with a wave of his hand. They merge, reunion of 99, forming an even larger golden giant sword, radiating supreme golden light, carrying the power of splitting heaven and earth and slashing down again. The turquoise water curtain trembles, rippling with radiant light, almost shattering. Cut again! Lu Yun's primordial sea surges from behind him, and the powerful pure yang strong origin enters the reunion of 99 golden sword, making its light and momentum even more intense and slashing downward. Boom! The huge sword falls, enveloping the utmost power, causing heaven and earth to tremble. The surrounding mountain peaks crack under the powerful aftershocks. Crack! Finally, the turquoise water curtain that bore the brunt of the impact shatters, and the crystal ball breaks apart completely. A once invincible treasure is destroyed in an instant. The sea lion roars, going completely mad. This was its most precious treasure, which it had cultivated for more than a decade. But today it is destroyed in such a way, making its eyes turn red with anger erupting in its heart, throwing away all caution from before. I will fight you to the death. Fury pushes the sea lion to the edge of madness, bellowing as it lunges at Lu Yun. Nothing but a fearless struggle. Lu Yun coldly retorts, the primordial sea surging, like a scorching sun, charging out. Boom! Golden light shines brilliantly. Divine power bursts forth. Lu Yun punches out. Red sun breaks the sky, boundless power and force scattering the sea lion's assault. Then his fist leaves a mark on its head. Spluttering, the sea lion's massive body flies sideways, divine power completely erupting and exploding in the sky. Absolute dominance, total suppression. This meat is useless to me, you guys can eat it. Lu Yun single-handedly supports the sea lion's massive body, landing on the warship, looking towards the people of Flying Spirit Martial Academy. His physical strength and power have far exceeded those of the gold body realm martial artists. Ordinary 6th rank sea beasts are of little use to him. But for the disciples of Flying Spirit Martial Academy, it is an excellent supplement. Especially Bailey E. by Haoshuan and Guyuan, their hearts filled with gratitude as they salute Lu Yun. Thank you, Saint Child. Xiao Guyun also salutes gratefully. The energy within this 6th rank mid-stage sea lion's flesh is of great help to him. Lu Yun nods slightly, waving his hand, and a golden light flashes across the sea lion's body. In an instant, the sea lion's massive body is divided into 8 parts and placed in front of Xiao Guyun, Bailey E., Guyuan, and the others. Seeing this, the independent martial cultivators and demon suppression army soldiers are envious, giving away a 6th rank sea beast's corpse like it's nothing. That's incredibly generous. At the same time, they're even more astonished by Lu Yun's strength. The 6th rank mid-stage sea lion was virtually killed without resistance. A thought arises in their hearts. Unparalleled strength, truly worthy of being the Flying Spirit Martial Academy's Saint Child. His renowned reputation is well-deserved. Brother Lu truly has amazing battle prowess, killing a 6th rank mid-stage sea beast with a single fist. I am in awe of such power. Zhua Chuya approaches leisurely, a smile in his eyes as he looks at Lu Yun. Just a little strength. Lu Yun answers with a faint smile. Chapter 331. Fist fight with a sea lion, fierce battle with a deep-sea giant shark on a circuit 2. His current cultivation had advanced to the peak of origin fluid realm. Not only had his yuan high surged to 80 feet, but his body had also become stronger. It was only natural to use Red Sun, breaks the sky, to kill a 6th rank mid-stage sea beast. Zwakiwai's eyes shifted as he looked down at the battle below and said, "The deep-sea giant shark is powerful, and our losses would be significant if it breaks through its current realm. Lu Yun, how about we join forces and take it down?" Lu Yun nodded and smiled. That's what I had in mind. The deep-sea giant shark was already at the limit of the 6th rank, and having devoured the body of a rune seed realm expert. Its strength had increased dramatically, bringing it only a step away from the 7th rank breakthrough. Although Lei Kang, Tan Chen, and Shang Tsung were strong, they could barely suppress the deep-sea giant shark at the moment. However, as time went on, the deep-sea giant shark's strength gradually increased, showing signs of being on par with Lei Kang, Tan Chen, and Shang Tsung. Its aura even continued to rise, hinting at the possibility of a breakthrough. As Zhuo Chuya had said, if it managed to successfully advance, it would reach the 7th rank. At that time, the cost of killing it would be too high for them to bear. Today, I will break through, and even if you bring more people, it will be useless. Once I reach the 7th rank, all of you will become my food. The deep-sea giant shark roared, with its massive body squashing the mountains below. Fortunately, this was not the deep sea, as even without the 7th rank breakthrough, Lei Kang, Tan Chen, and Shang Tsung would still be hard pressed to suppress it. Buzz! Without speaking, Lei Kang's yuan high roiled, his gold body surged, suppressing the deep-sea giant shark. He raised his hand, and interwoven thunder and lightning struck the shark. Soon after, the thunderous noises crackled, leaving its body charred and scales flared. A huge palm fell from Tan Chen, with dazzling patterns and colorful lights on it, filled with a vast flame. This flame was even more powerful than Lu Yin's 4th rank white lotus flame. Shang Tsung pulled his bow to its maximum tension, and a myriad of golden light points gathered from the depths of the sky, forging an incredibly powerful golden arrow. With a whoosh, the arrow pierced through everything, targeting the eye of the deep-sea giant shark. The combined attacks of the 3 Golden Body Realm Peak experts, Lei Kang, Tan Chen, and Shang Tsung, thundered through the sky, shaking the clouds and crushing several low, nearby mountains. Boom! Thunderbolts ran rampant. Golden light filled the sky, and flames spread all over. Under these terrifying attacks, the massive body of the deep-sea giant shark surfaced once more. Its jet-black body looked like a massive black hole amidst the vast lights, appearing extremely deep and horrifying. Its solitary, eye coldly staring at Lei Kang and the others in the sky. The numerous tiny, unseen special scales on its body flickered with cold light, absorbing the residual thunderbolt energy. Lei Kang, Tan Chen, and Shang Tsung all had sinking hearts. Although they had high expectations of the deep-sea giant shark, its physical power still exceeded their calculations. Their intense attacks didn't have much of an effect, and even seemed to have helped the shark absorb energy faster. If you insist on this, don't leave, stay here. Once I devour one of you, I might be able to greatly shorten the time it takes for me to advance, roared the deep-sea giant shark. Lei Kang snorted coldly. I would like to see, is it you who devours us, or us who eradicates you? Hearing this, the deep-sea giant shark laughed. Its laughter was extremely hoarse and unpleasant. Eradicating me? You've already missed the best opportunity. Now that I've already consumed more than half of that human race rune, seed, realm expert's body, my physique has reached its limit. Your attacks can't even break my flesh. Once I devour one of you, my bloodline will mutate and I will successfully advance to the 7th rank. At that time, none of you will be able to escape. As it spoke, the deep-sea giant shark's massive body suddenly churned, the giant tail swinging toward Lei Kang, who was in the sky. At the same time, a beam of deep black light shot out in an arc toward Shang Tsung and Tan Chen. The enormous electricity caused the air to rip apart as the bright light scattered and formed a dense black net. This time, the deep-sea giant shark launched an attack for the first time. Before this, it had either dodged or defended. Now that its offense and defense had reversed, it was clear that its previous words were true. Its physical power had reached its current limit. Without thinking much, Lei Kang stretched out his hand and grasped a huge sumo hammer that appeared out of thin air. On it flickered golden thunder, with vast runes emerging and spreading over the sumo hammer. Though it was impossible to manifest runes without rune seeds, Lei King could still unleash their power via weapons. He infused the Sumeru hammer with 72 law runes, causing the hammer's black body to change and its golden thunderbolts to become even more immense. Great Sumeru Thunder Hammer. Lei Kang held the end of the hammer handle with both hands and swung it around a large circle in the sky, forming a sea of golden thunderbolts before colliding it with the deep-sea giant shark's attack. The energy from the shark's tail and Lei Kang's thunderous sea violently collided, causing the light in the sky to bend, as if being absorbed by some terrifying force. Chapter 332. Defeating the sea lion with a fist, battling the deep-sea giant shark. 3. The energy from the great Sumeru thunder hammer and the shark's tail collided, canceling each other out, causing an eerie silence without any sound. Almost in an instant, the dreadful sound of thunder exploded in the deep sky. The unmatched power of lightning sprang from the Sumeru giant hammer, completely pouring into the tail of the giant shark and quickly spreading over its colossal body. HSS, this even hurts me. The deep-sea giant shark fell from the sky, hovering above a giant mountain. Its previously cold and glittery scales turned charred black, and lines of lightning were sprouting from it. It seems that on land, even though you're infinitely close to the 7th rank, you aren't that terrifying. Watch how it'll break down your flesh and have you shed a layer of skin. Lei Kang swung his Sumeru giant hammer, the rune on it twinkling, and the golden lightning replenished itself. Striking it, the powerful thunder shook the sky. According to the cultivation system of the human race, you need to condense rune seeds to match me. Currently, you are merely at the peak of the 6th realm. Trying to tear down my body is almost impossible. A green light flickered on the deep-sea giant shark. The previously chilly shimmer flashed again on its fine scales and turned even deeper. It drew out huge energy to seal off a piece of the universe and blocked off the lightning from the Sumeru giant hammer. Lei Kang spoke in a deep voice. If I'm not mistaken, you've been stuck at this realm for hundreds of years. Even though you've been absorbing the energy from the mortals of the rune seed realm, you could not elevate your physique to this degree. Despite being stagnant for hundreds of years, you still couldn't break through. It seems that among your sea beasts, your talent and bloodline aren't among the top. Hence, it wouldn't be easy for you to advance further. However, for a glimmer of a breakthrough chance, you dare to snatch food from the 7th rank sea beast and forcibly swallow the mortal from the rune seed realm in our siege. Such heart and determination, I quite admire it. The deep-sea giant shark showed a hint of insanity in its solitary eye after hearing Lei Kang's words. If I do not reach the 7th rank, I'll forever remain weak, just like how you can't condense rune seeds and will never be able to step into the top list of the human race. Even as it spoke, it rose into the air quickly, intending to utterly crush its opponent with its powerful physique. With a sound behind Lei Kang, a halo appeared. Golden lightning condensed into golden wings, emitting successive gusts of lightning winds, greatly enhancing his speed. He swung his Sumeru giant hammer and advanced instead of retreating. The deep-sea giant shark desired to advance to the 7th rank, and how could Lei King not wish to find an opportunity to condense rune seeds through this battle? Both sides harbored their plans and clashed violently. In the deep sky, thunder flickered and the powerful ripple of energy surged, stirring up waves of terror, causing the boundless rays of the deep sky to twist. Lei King fought more fiercely, but it seemed he was still beneath the deep-sea giant shark. His lightning couldn't severely injure it, whereas the opponent was crushing him with its powerful physique and vast energy. Not much later, the law rune on Sumeru giant hammer gradually dimmed and lost its initial power. However, Lei King became even crazier. A flash of joy passed through his eyes. I've been stuck at this realm for a full decade now. Today, perhaps, I can break through the bottleneck and condense the rune seeds. Lei Kang's heart churned dramatically. The spirit of battle within him became even more intense, regardless of triggering the law rune, caused the Sumeru giant hammer to shake the sky. Get lost! The deep sea giant shark's gigantic body covered the sky and obscured the sun. It violently swayed, eliciting vast energy to swallow the power of the Sumeru giant hammer, and then even more terrifying energy was stimulated, completely submerging Lei Kang. Staring at the impressive deep-sea giant shark, Shang Tsung and Tan Qin both inhaled sharply. The monster's aura became increasingly strong. Can they kill it? If not, what will happen to them if this monster successfully advances to 7th rank? We can't hesitate anymore. Otherwise, Elder Lei won't last much longer. A jolt struck Shang Gang's heart. He vigorously triggered the law rune within his body. Combined with his powerful bodily strength, he forcefully tore open the black electricity net that wrapped him. Brother Lei, I'm here to help you. He released a crimson sword, its enveloping flames shaping into a vast sea of fire, swiped through the sky and chopped down on the deep-sea giant shark. And me. Shang Tsung used some method to escape the black electricity net, walking in the air. He pulled back his bow and shot an arrow, keeping the sun at his back. Whoosh! A series of golden arrows shot out, a total of 9, known as 9 stars in a row, breaking space, aimed straight at the deep-sea giant shark. Come on, let the attack be more fierce. The deep-sea giant shark bellowed towards the sky, its enormous body surging. Its vast energy was like a stronghold of waves, whipping the void, splashing layer upon layer of ripples. At this moment, whether it was the deep-sea giant shark or Lei Kang, Tan Qin, Shang Tsung, they all completely lost their senses. Chapter 333. Lei Kang breaks through, joining forces to bombard and kill the deep-sea giant shark. Roar! The deep-sea giant shark howled to the heavens, seemingly like a demon, causing the sky and the earth's winds to reverse, rushing upwards. Kill! Lei Kang, Shang Tsung, and Tan Qin, 3 Golden Body Realm peak-level experts, also appeared crazed with determination to kill the deep-sea giant shark. Boom! With an intense collision, the sky erupted with beams of light, golden lightning, extreme flashes of fire, and even broken arrows. Such powerful fluctuations. The might of this battle is not much weaker than that of Rune Seed realm-level battles. Zwo said softly, looking up at the space above him occupied by the 3 men locked in combat with the deep-sea giant shark. The deep-sea giant shark is getting stronger and stronger. Elder Lei and the others are unable to suppress it. We should make our move now, said Lu Yin, as he stepped into the void and felt the thrilling sensation of the high skies becoming a battlefield. Brother Lu, this battle is no small matter. You must give it your all and not hold back. Zhuqiuya reminded him and took action. A wave of white energy followed him as he held his long sword and soared into the sky. Puff! Everyone was shocked. Zhuqiuya, an independent martial cultivator, had unleashed power that was not weaker than Lei Kang and the others. The long sword in his hand emitted a sword radiance that was tens of feet long, and it immediately landed on the body of the deep-sea giant shark, causing its black, deep, cold scales to fall off. No one expected that Zhuqiuya, an independent martial artist, would possess such tremendous power, and that he would join the battle so swiftly and decisively, piercing the powerful defense of the deep-sea giant shark with his own power. Elders, the situation is urgent. I had no choice but to intervene. Otherwise, once this monster breaks through its limits, we would not be able to subdue it again, Zhuqiuya said, his hair flying in the wind, and his clothes fluttering as he explained himself to Lei Kang and the others. Who are you to dare to ambush me? Seek death. The deep-sea giant shark flew into rage as its body shone, and its ruptured scales grew back. The shark then dived down. It was furious, as it had just been injured by a 6th realm late-stage human race martial artist. Although the scales had grown back, it was still shameful for the exceptionally powerful shark. I will devour you alive, the deep-sea giant shark roared, opening its mouth to inhale. It was the same move it had used earlier when swallowing the corpse of a human race rune seed realm expert. Gazing upon the black hole that suddenly appeared in the void, Zukiwai's eyes remained bright, but his sword-wielding hand began to tremble. His body shone with a golden light, and his black hair danced wildly. Kill! Zuochuya let out a cold snort, his eyes filled with murderous resolve, and he executed a powerful sword strike. Accompanied by a strong rumbling, the black hole with its powerful pull in the void was cut open. With the long sword like a rainbow, Zuochuya like a falling leaf, soared up and fought with the deep-sea giant shark. The afterimages of the sword were heavy. Mysterious light flickered as the most powerful impact collided, releasing incomparable brilliance. At this moment, Lu Yun suddenly moved. His movement was incredibly abrupt, with no build-up or preparation, transforming him into a torrential thunderbolt. As light flashed, the dragon-scale saber appeared at the forefront, a golden yuan high that was 80 feet long surged, madly pouring in. At the same time, 70% of the 5th rank slaughter conception was unleashed. An extraordinary saber radiance burst out, completely covering Lu Yun's body, utterly transforming him into a celestial rainbow that illuminated the sky. Annihilation. The moment the astonishing Wind Saber Manual's 5th stance was executed, the unparalleled saber light extended again, its brilliance intensifying. In the vast sky, the only visible thing was that unmatched saber light. Lu Yun's body became completely invisible, even to Zuochuya, Lei Kang, and the others. In the deep-sea giant shark's single eye, all it could see was the unparalleled saber light piercing through the sky, coming up to completely engulf it. Another ambush seeking death. The deep-sea giant shark roared furiously, ignoring Zuochuya this time and rotating its body. Its tens of feet-long body showed extreme flexibility and terrifying strength as the wind and clouds surged, and the earth trembled. Although it was now very close to the rune seed realm, it still felt a powerful threat from Lu Yun's saber strike. The eruption of 70% of the 5th rank slaughter conception, combined with the surge of the 80 feet yuan high, and the execution of the astonishing Wind Saber Manual's 5th stance, Lu Yun's explosive power had increased by more than 5 times. If such a powerful explosion was not defended against, the deep-sea giant shark's advancement would have to wait a long time. Feeling the threat, the deep-sea giant shark had no choice but to exert all its strength to deal with Lu Yun's saber strike. Boom! The huge shark tail collided relentlessly with the sudden, extraordinary saber radiance. The shark's tail was enveloped in a strong black light, which resembled countless lightning bolts gathered together. The moment the shark tail made contact with the saber light, Lu Yun's saber radiance shattered layer by layer under the impact of the black lightning. However, Lu Yun's strike was not so easily resolved. Although the saber light diffused and his entire body felt as if it was about to shatter, the dragon scale saber still cut through the shark's scales viciously, breaking through the deep-sea giant shark's defense and leaving a deep mark on its incredibly sturdy tail. One strike annihilation, although unable to kill the deep-sea giant shark, broke through its terrifying physique in an unprecedented fashion, causing serious injury. Roar! The deep-sea giant shark let out a painful cry. Its colossal body writhed in desperation, releasing a terrifying energy that sent Lu Yun flying away. Faced with such immense energy, Lu Yun did not dare to be careless, especially since he had already landed a significant blow. Naturally, he wouldn't clash head-on with the enemy. His form flickered, instantly teleporting tens of miles away. Chapter 334. Lei Kang breaks through. Jointly bombards the deep-sea giant shark undersur. The deep-sea giant shark was not only fighting against Lu Yun, but also facing the powerful Lei Kang, Shangsang, and Tanshin at the Golden Body Realm's peak, as well as Zuochuya, the independent martial cultivator with unparalleled combat capabilities. The moment Lu Yun retreated after completing his technique, the attacks from the four people had already arrived from different directions. A Sumeru giant hammer filled with golden lightning fiercely smashed the head of the deep-sea giant shark as the 9 stars in a row appeared, shattering the deep and cold scales. The dark red sword engulfed more than half of its body with terrifying flames. Wave after wave of attacks rained down on the deep-sea giant shark's body. Even with its abnormal physical strength and horrifying recovery capabilities, it seemed helpless and couldn't resist. The intense pain caused the shark's massive body to convulse. While it was impossible for it to die due to its strong constitution, its many injuries and the excessive energy and vitality it consumed made its hopes of breaking through a mere fantasy. The deep-sea giant shark never imagined that it would lose to 2 late 6th realm and 1/5 realm peak human opponents. In both pain and anger, the beast roared wildly as its huge body twisted and turned in the sky, each movement unleashing a profound pressure and vast energy, like a turbulent ocean. Unfortunately, no matter how furiously it raged, it couldn't escape the combined forces of the 5 opponents, especially Lei Kang, who had single-handedly fought against the deep-sea giant shark in the beginning. The law runes on him clearly showed a trend towards fusion under extreme pressure. Now, as he continued attacking, this trend became increasingly obvious. At the same time, the enhancement of the Sumeru giant hammer became stronger and stronger, with his body draped in golden lightning. Along with his formidable gold body, the energy set into motion by the deep-sea giant shark's struggle couldn't affect him much. The Sumeru giant hammer was filled with law runes, unleashing a terrifying thunderous force as it struck the shark like a mighty mountain. Under fierce attack, the deep-sea giant shark howled continuously. Its miserable cries shook the universe, causing alarm among the demon suppression army and other martial artists aboard the battleship, whose eyes were filled with astonishment. Most of them had low levels of strength and couldn't recognize the battle unfolding in the sky. They could barely sense the intense fluctuations transmitted from afar, knowing that the fight was incredibly dangerous. However, they couldn't tell which side held the advantage. Now, as the deep-sea giant shark's tragic howls echoed, they could make a rough guess about the outcome of the battle. Boom! As though a sun flickered across the sky, another roar of rage erupted from the deep-sea giant shark. A massive chunk of bloody flesh fell violently to the ground, soaked in blood. The fallen flesh, with its lingering might, caved in the distant ground in a collapse. From afar, everyone could sense the dense energy emanating from the bleeding flesh, astonished by its power. After all, the deep-sea giant shark was infinitely close to being a 7th rank demon beast, with incredibly astonishing energy held within its body. Moreover, it was a high-level energy source. Even just a piece of its flesh would be a great supplement for most martial artists in the transforming origin and origin fluid realms. Ha ha ha! First come, first served. An independent martial cultivator at the origin fluid realm dove down, heading towards the location of the fallen flesh at a rapid speed. Such a replenishing treasure must not be missed. Chiu Gaian's eyes flashed with a radiant light as he darted towards the same spot. At the same time, numerous martial artists aboard the battleship began to fly towards that location. However, the demon suppression army remained still. Unlike disciples of the martial academy or independent martial cultivators, they were known for their strict adherence to orders. Without commands from their superiors, they would not dare act rashly. Additionally, they believed that the general would not mistreat them. Roar! At this moment, almost half of the massive dorsal fin on the deep-sea giant shark's back had been slashed off, causing it to howl angrily in the sky, thrashing its body around wildly. The agonizing pain that had penetrated its bones had completely robbed it of any rational thought. It must be noted that it was a deep-sea giant shark, and the most critical part of its body was the dorsal fin. Losing half of it ruined the balance of its massive body, which was incredibly infuriating and maddening for the shark. Die, I want all of you to die. The deep-sea giant shark's rationality had been entirely replaced by pain and madness. It completely abandoned the idea of advancing further and instead mobilized its vast energy and vitality, allowing a green light to engulf its massive body and heal its bodily injuries. Seeing the shark's actions, Lu Yin and the others revealed a pleased smile on their faces. As long as the deep-sea giant shark couldn't break through, their combined forces would be sufficient to kill it. In a flash, an immense surge of energy erupted from the head of the deep-sea giant shark. At that moment, the shark's body, more than 40 meters long, seemed to freeze in midair. Dense black lightning enveloped its entire body, accompanied by a faint golden light that made the shark's surface appear like crystalline black gold. Simultaneously, the pressure emanating from the shark's body became even more powerful, making those far away tremble with fear. Although it has lost the opportunity to advance to the 7th rank, it has indeed reached the extreme limit of the 6th rank, Zhuqiu remarked quietly upon seeing the current state of the shark. As long as it is not a true 7th rank, what can it do? Lei Kang felt that he was getting closer and closer to condensing rune seeds and became increasingly ferocious in his attacks. He paid no mind to the deep-sea giant shark, which had reversed its vitality and recovered to its peak state, as he swung the Sumeru giant hammer and charged forward. However, before he could get close to the shark, 9 black and gold lightning bolts, as thick as water barrels, fell from the sky. Chapter 335. Lei Kang breaks through. Jointly bombards the deep-sea giant shark _3 get lost. After Lei Kang shouted out a single word, he swung the Sumeru giant hammer, directly splitting apart the several thunderbolts and heavily hitting the deep-sea giant shark's body. The moment the two extremely intense thunderbolts of different attributes collided, Lei Kang felt his entire body go numb, and the Sumeru giant hammer almost got wrested away. What a terrifying thunderbolt! Its power has increased by at least 50% compared to before. Feeling the unparalleled thunderbolt, Lei Kang was horrified in his heart. At the same time, his body quickly retreated. At this moment, he realized that he alone could not take down the deep-sea giant shark. However, just as he retreated, the deep-sea giant shark's body, which seemed to be made of condensed black gold crystals, trembled and numerous black gold thunderbolts bloomed, forming a gargantuan net that swept towards Lei Kang. Lu Yun and the others had not even had time to react when the black gold thunder net contracted at an unparalleled speed, trapping Lei Kang within in an instant. Seeing this, everyone's face showed horror. Lei Kang, a powerful manipulator of thunder, was now trapped in a lightning cage by the deep-sea giant shark, an astoundingly shocking development. Everyone be careful. The deep-sea giant shark's power OFS carat, a controlled transformation scheme, has mutated and greatly increased. Zhuo Chuya shouted, a long sword overflowing with radiant light, slashing at the black gold lightning cage. However, it failed to shake it. Do you think that if you interrupt my promotion, you will have a chance? Indeed, I cannot advance to the 7th rank, but with my powerful accumulation and stored energy, my strength has grown even stronger. As for that human race, trapped in my death cage, he is doomed to die. You cannot save him. Hearing the voice of the deep-sea giant shark, Lu Yun's face immediately sank. At this moment, Tan Chen had already arrived behind him, and the scorching flames illuminated the sky a fiery red. Tan Chen's voice rang in Lu Yun's ears. Don't be impulsive, we just need to join forces to kill it, and we can save Brother Lei. Lu Yun nodded his head. He didn't know the extent of the deep-sea giant shark's strength at this moment, but he absolutely could not be reckless now. Although his attack power was strong, his overall strength was at the bottom among the group. He had to be careful and cautious. He also firmly believed that Lei Kang could hold out. At this moment, Shang Tsung, who maintained absolute calm, pulled back the great bow, the runes interweaving, the aura elevating to the peak. As a peak gold body realm archer, long-range attacks were his greatest advantage, and the deep-sea giant shark's massive body was undoubtedly the best target. However, at this time his arrow with interweaving runes and his highly concentrated spirit were not just to shoot down the deep-sea giant shark. He aimed at the shark's single eye. As the runes flickered and the arrow was still on the bowstring, the power of heaven and earth it attracted was terrifyingly immense, vast like waves, rippling like a tidal wave, making people involuntarily tremble. We will join forces and hold it back, creating an opportunity for General Shang's arrow. Tan Chen, experienced and perceptive, immediately saw the power of Shang Gang's arrow and its target and shouted. The crimson sword in his hand flipped, creating a sea of fire to blockade all directions, intending to prevent the deep-sea giant shark from escaping. Kill! Zhuqiwai's sword radiance became even more intense, like a divine light descending from beyond the realm, unstoppable and irresistible. Lu Yin also pushed his Yuan Hai to the extreme, the 7/10 of the 5th rank slaughter conception fully flaring on the dragon scale saber, unleashing his most powerful strike, unparalleled blood blade. One blade and one sword, as if two separate worlds descended, the bloody blade Qi and the dazzling sword Qi, unstoppable and overwhelming. Puff, puff sounds echoed successively. The deep-sea giant shark roared furiously within the endless sea of fire, its body emanating black gold lightning that destroyed the sea of fire. However, before it could feel relieved, its dark and deep scales were cracked open with a thunderous crack. Chunks of flesh flew off, and even its recently regenerated dorsal fin was once again cut off. While fighting over the massive piece of flesh containing energy on the ground below, suddenly a powerful fluctuation pulsed through the air, catching their attention. Looking up, they saw streaks of light falling from the sky at an extremely fast speed. Pure and broken flesh, as long as I get a piece, I can shorten the time it will take me to advance to the gold body realm by half a year. On the ground, Chioguyan looked at the rapidly falling flesh, his eyes filled with extreme madness. This piece is mine. This piece is mine. For a moment, the people on the ground started fighting once again, not noticing another intense fluctuation in the air above. Whoosh! There was no 9 stars in a row, only a single, pure arrow. The arrow, accompanied by a booming divine sound, dazzling and breathtaking in its magnificence, erupted with the fastest power in the world, piercing into the single eye of the deep-sea giant shark. Blood surged and flew like sprinkling rain, and a harsh, ear-splitting scream roared out. The powerful sound waves shook the void, creating layers of ripples. Sensing the terrifying power of the sound waves, Lu Yun and the others quickly retreated. As for Shang Tsung, it seemed that the arrow had drained most of his energy. After the arrow broke through the air, he looked even weaker. Now, with the terrifying sound waves approaching and unable to dodge in time, his body was directly battered by the sound waves. His powerful gold body almost cracked apart, and golden blood flowed continuously. Ah! The deep-sea giant shark roared in anger as black gold lightning surged like a crazy torrent, forming numerous thunder snakes that filled the heavens and earth. Lu Yun, Zhuqiwei, and Tan Chen saw this and rushed forward together. At this moment, the 3 of them had no choice but to charge forward. Lei Kang was trapped, his life or death unknown. The black rank demon extermination general of the demon suppression army was heavily injured and no longer able to fight. Now, only the 3 of them could step up. In the depths of the sky, the deep-sea giant shark frantically thrashed, its scales continuously falling off as blood rain spilled across the sky. Lu Yin and the other 2 were not faring any better, all of them injured and faint traces of black gold lightning crawling on their bodies. Die! All of you deserve to die. Only by devouring you all can I make up for my loss. The deep-sea giant sharks bled from its already pierced eye, but could still sense their positions through the black gold lightning. Today, death comes for you, vile beast. Divine light shifted, and an even more powerful thunderous force descended with a bang. Lu Yun and the others looked on in astonishment as Lei King somehow broke free from the lightning cage's shackles and appeared above the deep-sea giant shark, wielding the Sumeru giant hammer and summoning a sea of golden thunder, crashing it down with force. Runes interwove like galaxies, and thunder surged in waves, one after another. Deafening roars echoed, and blood spilled. Lei Kang and the Sumeru giant hammer merged as one, the runes and laws automatically manifesting themselves. Brother Lei successfully condensed a rune seed. Watching Lei Kang ascend to the realm of the invincible, displaying an unyielding, supreme temperament, Tan Chen's face showed amazement and envy. To condense a rune seed, he had immersed himself in this realm for more than a decade, still unable to glimpse the means to break through. Yet now he witnessed a fellow cultivator break through the bottleneck, condensing a rune seed with one move, and his emotions were undoubtedly complex. This guy is indeed troublesome, but now that I've condensed a rune seed, let's see how long you can hold on. Lei Kang shouted, waving the Sumeru giant hammer and continuously bombarding the deep-sea giant shark. Kill! Lu Yun and the other two charged forth again upon seeing this. The deep-sea giant shark was heavily injured, but its life force was astonishingly vast. Its roars shook the heavens, as if the sky itself was trembling. Awash in white light, Zhuochuya held a long sword that emitted sword radiance, traversing the heavens and earth. Each strike that landed on the deep-sea giant shark left a horrifying wound. Azure even more so, Lu Yun radiated with golden divine brilliance. Behind him, 250 m of primordial sea surged wildly, making him appear like a grand sun pressing down on the sky, shimmering with golden light. The four formidable warriors launched fierce and relentless attacks, their ferocious assaults descending in concentrated waves, enveloping the massive body of the deep-sea giant shark. Chapter 336. The top battlefield, heavenly pride of the Sea of Clouds, sect the deep-sea giant shark, despite its boundless vitality, found its life force dissipating under the siege of four powerful warriors, especially Lei Kang, a mighty practitioner who had condensed rune seeds. He wielded the Sumeru giant hammer and broke through the black gold-colored thunderbolts condensed on the surface of the deep-sea giant shark with his extremely powerful golden thunderbolts. Even with its formidable body and defense, the deep-sea giant shark could no longer resist the onslaught of everyone's attacks. As its life force was extinguished, swords and knives were added, cutting out strips of flesh. Blocks of meat full of powerful energy fell from the sky, attracting many martial artists on the ground who scrambled to claim them. The deep-sea giant shark's body was enormous, about dozens of feet long. The powerful energy contained in each piece of its flesh made it a supreme blood-flesh treasure, extremely tempting to the many martial artists. Finally, a corpse stretched across the horizon fell from the sky with a loud rumble and crashed down, shaking the mountains and causing even the high-altitude warships to sway slightly. Elder Lei is mighty. Saint Child is invincible. On the ground, the people of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy, seeing Lu Yun and others bathed in golden light and walking through the air, were extremely excited. The powerful deep-sea giant shark was killed, and their Flying Spirit Martial Academy had exerted the greatest effort. Everyone, my Flying Spirit Martial Academy, wants 1/3 of the deep-sea giant shark's flesh. Is that a problem? Lu Yin's gaze swept over Tanchin, Shangsang, and Zhuochuya. The Flying Spirit Martial Academy has contributed the most in this battle, so this distribution is only fair. Shangsang didn't think much and readily agreed. After taking a 6th-grade pill, his condition had improved somewhat, his complexion becoming more ruddy. However, he still hadn't fully recovered, so his speech lacked strength. Zuichuya chuckled. I don't care. I don't want the deep-sea giant shark's flesh, but I want all of its essence blood. Essence blood is considered the most precious part of the deep-sea giant shark's body. However, even a 6th rank limit sea beast like this one only had a pitiful amount of essence blood in its body, at most about 30 or 40 drops. Compared to the gigantic corpse's flesh, this bit of essence blood wasn't all that valuable, so the others readily agreed. In the end, Tanchin also got a portion of the flesh, but the majority went to the Demon Suppression Army. This battle was led by the Demon Suppression Army, and Shangsang had indeed paid a great price. The distribution couldn't be more reasonable. By now, Wei Zongcheng's battle with the 7th rank sea cattle hadn't ended yet, and the people on the warship began digesting their loot from this battle. The disciples of the Flying Spirit Martial Academy had obtained a large amount of flesh from the deep-sea giant shark, so they immediately set up pots and started fires. As the aroma of meat filled the air, they popped the juicy pieces into their mouths and began digesting them. As befitting a 6th rank limit sea beast, the energy contained within it was extremely vast. Before long, Bailey Yi, Gu Yuan, and Bai Haoshuan all advanced a sublevel in their respective cultivation realms. Afterward, they used blood from the deep-sea giant shark for body tempering in order to strengthen and solidify their current realms. Now, even in the early stages of Origin Fluid Realm, I can fight. Bailey Yi felt the powerful true origin inside him and murmured to himself. On the other hand, Gu Yuan and Bai Haoshuan both reached the peak of the transforming origin realm, their auras becoming extraordinarily refined. Especially Gu Yuan, his powerful aura even faintly surpassed some of the martial artists in the origin fluid realm. Whether it was Gu Yuan or Bailey Yi at just 13 or 14 years old, their auras already rivaled those of martial artists in the origin fluid realm, making them absolute prodigies. Usually, heavenly pride at their age hovered between the true Qi realm and the transforming origin realm. In addition, Qiu Guyun, a genius in the peak of the origin fluid realm, made another progress in his aura, taking him one step closer to breaking through to the gold body. Seeing that everyone in the Flying Spirit Martial Academy had gained something, Lu Yin also showed a delighted expression. Boom, boom, boom. The battle between Wei Zongqing and the sea cattle was becoming more intense, at the level of one person and one beast. As long as there isn't a huge gap in strength, even if they fight for several days, they may not necessarily determine the life and death outcome. Besides, the sea cattle had thick skin and a robust constitution, which meant Wei Zongcheng's attacks left only some wounds on it, unable to inflict any fatal injuries. It's a pity that the difference between us and the Rune Seed realm is too great. Otherwise, we could help General Wei slay this sea beast. Tan Chin sighed softly. Among the group, only Lei Kang, who had condensed rune seeds, was barely qualified to join the battle. Unfortunately, Lei Kang had just condensed the rune seeds and was in the process of stabilizing his realm. As the final, most top-notch mid-level rune had been condensed, Wei Zongcheng's strength was astonishing. He saw him soaring into the sky, drawing countless runes that all converged on a silver-white spear. The spear pierced through, giving off a sense of being able to penetrate anything. With a soft sound, it pierced through the chest of the sea cattle, leaving a bloody hole from front to back. Blood spurted like a fountain, splashing everywhere. Human, you wait for me. I will surely take revenge. The sea cattle stomped fiercely on the void, causing the emptiness to tremble. Taking advantage of the powerful impact, it quickly fled. Don't even think about running. Wei Zongqing reached out a hand, and the black mountain seal turned into a streak of light flying out. It then quickly enlarged and turned into a giant mountain that was several hundred feet tall, crashing down with an earth-shaking sound. The sea cattle couldn't dodge it and was struck squarely. Its body, as large as a mountain, fell to the ground and collided with a nearby upright peak, causing it to retreat with a loud rumble. The black mountain seal continued to fall, and it seemed as if it would completely suppress the 7th rank sea cattle. Boom! The sea cattle stomped on the ground, and within tens of miles, the earth instantly cracked. Countless boulders and blocks of soil flew into the air, blocking the rapidly falling black mountain seal, while the sea cattle took advantage of the force from its stomp to quickly escape. Chapter 337. Top Battlefield. Cloud Sea-Sec's heavenly pride understood seeing this scene. Wei Zongcheng's brow furrowed slightly, unable to catch up in time. His usage of the Black Mountain Seal was limited to the surface and could not unleash its full power. Otherwise, the sea beast would have been unable to escape. However, most of the blood gushing from the sea beast was collected by Wei Zongcheng, who flew back to the warship. With a flick of his sleeve, the blood rained down and covered the entire demon suppression army. After being bathed in the blood of a 7th rank sea beast, the auras of the 8,000 demon suppression army soldiers grew stronger. After the blood purification was completed, Wei Zongcheng ordered, "Keep moving forward." At his command, the warship slowly started moving. The White Mountain domain was vast, almost the same size as Ling Province, and it had many affiliated sects belonging to the White Lotus sect. Unknowingly, another 2 days had passed. This time, Wei Zongcheng discovered something again, his face full of murderous intent. "There's a massive battle fluctuation 2,000 miles ahead. Let's go and check." At this moment, strong battle fluctuations occurring here were likely the demon suppression army, uprooting forces under the command of the White Lotus sect. Having just annihilated the Black Mountain sect, it was their duty to help other demon suppression armies deal with the enemy. Another battle. On the warship, many martial artists showed their fighting spirit. After every sect extermination battle, as long as they survived, the gains were enough to sustain their cultivation for 10 or more years. Lu Yun's face showed a slight change as he sensed the strong battle fluctuations in the distance. There were at least several auras belonging to Rune Seed Realm experts. From this, it could be seen that the overall strength of this sect was much stronger than the Black Mountain sect. Even if the Black Mountain sect had been glorious in the past, they only had 2 half-step Rune Seed Realm experts. In comparison to true Rune Seed Realm experts, there was no contest. Moreover, the Black Mountain sect had declined for a long time. The elders and disciples were not very powerful, and there were only a handful of experts in the Golden Body realm. According to Lu Yun's perception, there were at least 5 or 6 Rune Seed Realm aura fluctuations in the distant, powerful battlefield. As for the Golden Body Realm aura fluctuations, there are even more. As expected, Wei Zonghai slowly said, "Get ready. There's a late-stage Rune Seed Realm expert here. Don't get involved in the deeper battles." As his words fell, he leaped up, holding the Black Mountain Seal, and flew towards the battlefield in the sky. This battlefield was extremely dangerous for him as well. It would take at least 5 to 7 mid-stage Rune Seed Realm experts to deal with a late-stage Rune Seed Realm expert. However, he had the treasure like the Black Mountain Seal. Even a late-stage Rune Seed Realm expert couldn't crush him easily. What? There's a late-stage Rune Seed Realm expert. Upon hearing this, everyone was shocked. If there was a late-stage Rune Seed Realm expert, would there be a shortage of other Rune Seed Realm experts? With such powerful presences in this kind of battlefield, it was indeed a super battlefield. Even Golden Body Realm experts were in extreme danger, let alone them. "Zwa," Choya said, "ahead is the most powerful subordinate force of the White Lotus sect, the Cloud Sea sect. It is rumored that they have 6 Rune Seed Realm experts, but it is unknown how many are left now. At present, most of the powerful experts of the White Lotus sect's subordinate forces had been forcibly conscripted to deal with the massive invasion of the Demon Suppression Army. Even the Black Mountain sect, which did not have any Rune Seed Realm experts, was subject to forced conscription. Naturally, the Cloud Sea sect, being the most powerful subordinate force, did not escape. However, the Black Mountain sect had just made a decision and was immediately wiped out by Wei Zongqing leading the demon suppression army and numerous martial artists. From afar, people on the warships could hear the fierce fighting. Moreover, in the distant depths of the sky, there were continuous strong fluctuations and a dazzling sea of runes billowing, occasionally releasing thunderous sounds. Many Origin Fluid Realm and Transforming Origin Realm martial artists swallowed nervously, their faces pale, secretly deciding not to touch the deeper parts of the battlefield. For ordinary martial artists, they were considered powerful, but in such a battlefield, they were no different from cannon fodder. A random Golden Body Realm expert could easily kill them, and if they were caught in the aftermath of a Rune Seed Realm expert's attack, nothing would be left of them. Their sole purpose was to exterminate the living forces of the 100 sects. Finally, the warship slowly came to a halt at the edge of the battlefield. What kind of battlefield is this? As far as the eye can see, full of scars, strong, murderous atmosphere, boundless, almost extending to the end of the sky. The sounds of fighting were like the roar of mountains and seas, and everywhere there were extreme killings and grisly corpses. Watch out! At this moment, Lei Kang soared into the sky, punching out with thunder flashing. Crack! A small peak falling from the sky was bombarded into pieces, scattering everywhere. This half of the mountain peak was flown from more than 10 miles away, where 2 half-step Rune Seed Realm fighters were battling. The half-step Rune Seed Realm fighter from Cloud Sea Sect stabbed a spear into a 100-meter-high mountain, used a law rune, lifted the mountain, and smashed it toward a top-tier, black-rank demon extermination general from the Demon Suppression Army. This black-rank demon extermination general slashed with a knife, cutting the law rune on the mountain peak in half, and the mountain peak was also split in half by the powerful strike. This level of combat is simply too dangerous. A shivering, independent martial cultivator at the Origin Fluid Realm said. It was his first time facing such a terrifying battlefield, and even when he had flattened the Black Mountain sect some time ago, he had stayed away from the Golden Body Realm. Well, go help too! Lei Kang, Tan Chin, and Shang Tsung looked at each other and moved toward the depths of the battlefield. Be careful! With this sentence, Zhuqiya headed towards the depths of the battlefield. At the same time, other independent martial cultivators at the Golden Body Realm followed. The depths of the battlefield were the entrance to the Cloud Sea Sect's mountain gate, and only by entering there could one gain anything. Demon Suppression Army, listen to my orders. Kill all the Cloud Sea Sect's disciples. Not one should be spared. After Wei Zongqing left, Shang Tsung was the strongest among the Demon Suppression Army, and other black-rank demon extermination generals were also willing to obey his orders. This time, Lu Yun had also become smart, wanting to gain something. He had to follow those independent cultivators. He glanced back at the people of Flying Spirit Martial Academy and fixed his gaze on Bailey E. Guyuan and Bai Haoshuan. You three, try to stick together and don't go too deep into the battlefield. We will follow the Saint Child's orders. Although they were talented and had strong combat power, they were still at a lower realm, and once they encountered top-class fighters from the Origin Fluid Realm or Golden Body Realm, they had almost no chance of surviving. Moreover, as disciples of the Martial Academy, they wouldn't lack cultivation techniques and resources, so there was no need for them to push themselves like independent martial cultivators. Their goal was to hone their own strength by fighting against warriors of the same level. At this moment, a Gold Body Realm peak and 2 Gold Body Realm middle and later stage fighters from the Cloud Sea Sect came over and attacked. Lu Yin, you deal with the Golden Body Realm peak, and I'll handle the other 2 Golden Body Realm late-stage cultivators. One of the heavenly pride that Lu Yun initially sensed was Zhong Lingxiu, a disciple of the South Sun Martial Academy. He said to Lu Yun. Lu Yun glanced at the 3 individuals. The Gold Body Realm Peak Powerhouse was a middle-aged man in a black robe with a solemn killing intent on his face, exuding extreme strength. The other two young men, one in the gold body realm middle stage and one in the gold body realm late stage, both had extremely condensed breaths, especially the gold body realm late stage young man, who had angular features and a clear-cut face. Even after experiencing intense battles, his breath remained stable. Moreover, Lu Yun had a feeling that even the gold body realm peak powerhouse seemed to hold this young man in high regard. Noticing this situation, Lu Yun kindly reminded him, "Can you stop them?" "Don't worry," Zhong Lingxiu confidently said, as he was the #1 talent in the South Sun Martial Academy, with unparalleled talent and great strength. In the entire Ling province, there were definitely no more than a handful of people of the same age with greater strength than him, so he had great confidence in his own abilities. In fact, he could also see that the two young men were not simple, and they might be heavenly pride who had emerged from the Cloud Sea sect. Only by fighting against real heavenly pride would he be able to fulfill his true intentions. Chapter 338. Suppression, Self-Detonation. This youth was dressed in brocade robes, with waterfall-like hair, a strong physique, and an indescribable aura that seemed to radiate from him as he walked slowly. His face was resolute, his left hand resting behind him, and his right hand holding a sword with a cold radiance on its blade, creating waves of sword chi that seemed to blend in with the surrounding atmosphere. He was the heavenly pride of the Cloud Sea sect, Yun Hailiang, and behind him there seemed to be an unbeatable will. Standing by Yun Hailiang were two people. One was a peak Golden Body Realm elder, and the other a mid-stage Golden Body Realm disciple, both of whom had more or less injuries on their bodies. They were from the Cloud Sea sect, the strongest among the subordinate forces of the White Lotus sect. But at this moment they faced a great crisis. The Demon Suppression Army descended from the sky, sealing off tens of thousands of miles in the vicinity of the Cloud Sea sect. They had fought their way out of the encirclement. During the course of this, they had lost many elite disciples and powerful elders. Now, only the three of them were left. As they were about to break through the encirclement, they were once again blocked by enemies. "Those who block me will die." Yun Hailiang's eyes suddenly burst with a sword radiance, his intense killing intent causing the surrounding air to tremble, shattering the dense killing intent that enveloped the area ahead. Zhong Lingxiu looked at Yun Hailiang and the other mid-stage Golden Body Realm disciple of the Cloud Sea sect, showing no anger, and calmly said, "Among the heavenly prides of the younger generation in Ling province, few have spoken to me with such a tone." Upon hearing this, the expression of the black-robed elder tightened as he released the momentum of the peak Golden Body Realm, suppressing the surrounding area and shouting, "Hailiang, you go first, I will stay behind." Facing the most outstanding heavenly pride of the younger generation in Ling province, he had to be cautious. As for Lu Yun, he had already completely ignored him. "Old geezer, am not your opponent." Zhong Lingxiu sneered, and then turned his head to Lu Yun and said, "Brother Lu, leave this old fellow to you." "All right." Lu Yun didn't mind. In his perception, this old man was even easier to deal with. Just an origin fluid realm, seeking death. The black-robed elder took a step forward, and the air roared as he reached out his hand and pressed down with a palm, intending to kill Lu Yun in one fell swoop, before blocking Zhong Lingxiu to create a chance for the two heavenly prides of the sect to escape. As a result, he did not give Lu Yun any chance to fight back with his powerful attack. However, in the next moment, his expression changed dramatically. Lu Yun stepped on the ground. His yuan hai surged, his aura origin was vigorous, golden light flickered, and a fist like the sun broke through the sky. How could he be so strong? Defeated by one punch, the black-robed elder stumbled, losing his soul. Lu Yun was merely at the pinnacle of the origin fluid realm, yet his displayed power and strength were not inferior to the peak of the Golden Body Realm. This fighting prowess crossed a whole realm. The higher the realm, the harder it was to transcend levels. Even the heavenly pride he vowed to protect, Yun Hailiang, could only transcend one realm. Lu Yun did not care about the other party's shock and sent another, terrifyingly powerful, giant fist flying. Boom, boom, boom. It was like a thunderstorm of huge explosions. The surrounding mountains trembled, and the astonishing energy storm was like a surging tidal wave, sweeping through the area. Countless towering trees were uprooted, and the towering rocks broke apart in mid-air. Even the light, for a moment, appeared twisted. The clear springs within a dozen miles reversed their flow, and the uneven hills were almost leveled. The battle between peak Golden Body Realm powerhouses is too fierce. We must retreat. The recently landed Demon Suppression Army and numerous independent martial cultivators retreated in succession. With Lu Yun and Zhong Lingshu here, we should go elsewhere to intercept the members of the Cloud Sea sect. After the Flying Spirit Martial Academy, South Sun Martial Academy, and the Demon Suppression Army withdrew, Lu Yun had no more concerns. He reached out with his right hand, and the dragon scale saber was already unsheathed. Simultaneously, a steel ring, surrounded by golden mysterious light, appeared. Facing the peak Golden Body Realm powerhouse, he had to be more cautious. Swish! The eyes of the black-robed elder blazed with intense brightness, his powerful physique driving a wave of golden light and flames that spread dozens of feet, making people shudder. At this point, he was already entangled with Lu Yun, while Yun Hailiang was entangled with another heavenly pride of Ling Province. He knew that the longer the delay, the more dangerous it would be. Therefore, he had to do his best to defeat the enemy in front of him in order to gain a glimmer of hope. Some things cannot be rushed. Lu Yun laughed loudly, his fist wrapped in golden light, like the brilliant sun descending as it shattered the powerful sea of fire within mere moments. Immediately after, a saber suddenly slashed out, its radiance reaching straight into the sky, causing the cloud sea to churn. Lu Yun had reached the peak of the origin fluid realm, with his yuan high 80 feet high, and the slaughter conception approaching 70% of the 5th rank. The mere power of this casual saber was terrifying. Its radiance seemed to split open the void, and the dazzling light made it impossible for people to open their eyes. A regular golden body realm martial artist would undoubtedly not be able to survive under the saber. The black-robed elder let out a long howl and soared into the sky. Golden runes wrapped around his hands, and his fists, like two peaks, descended from the heavens. This was the Cloud Sea Sect's Annihilation Double Peaks Fist, which had reached the point of perfection in his hands, especially since he had already begun to engrave law runes, which enhanced the Annihilation Double Peaks Fist, making it even more domineering and fierce. Boom, boom, boom. The two continued to fight, creating endless hurricanes, like a heaven and earth overturning tsunami. Not far away, a mountain peak with various forms could no longer withstand the impact of the powerful aftershocks. It cracked and collapsed, emitting a deafening noise. Chapter 339. Suppression, Self, Destruction _ 2 shortly after. The rolling smoke and dust, along with pieces of shattered rock, were once again swept up into a powerful wave that forcibly compressed them into fine dust. The clash between Lu Yun and the old man in the black robe, the confrontation between Zhong Lingshu and Yun Hailiang of the Cloud Sea sect, their struggles intertwined like two vast waves rolling in different directions, each one pressing the other down in turn. Nevertheless, as the foremost heavenly pride of the South Sun Martial Academy, Zhong Lingshu managed to contend with the two leading figures of the Cloud Sea sect simultaneously. Notably, Yun Hailiang was in the same realm as him. The Cloud Sea sect is merely a subordinate force of the White Lotus sect. Who in our generation dares to compare themselves with me? Intimidating brilliance filled Zhong Links's eyes. He bore the honor of the South Sun Martial Academy and was listed among the top heavenly prides of Ling Province. He needed an unsurpassed battle to pave his way to invincibility. Therefore, in today's battle, victory was the only option. Defeat was not allowed. However, facing two heavenly prides with the power to fight above their level, his bravery could barely gain an edge. Many of his secret techniques were blocked. If things continued like this, even if he won, he wouldn't be able to stop the two. The two heavenly prides of the Cloud Sea sect understood this very well. This time and place was not where they would determine victory or defeat. They could not stay longer than necessary thus. They fought and retreated in tandem. Whoosh! 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 10,000 dazzling lights formed a rain of arrows, turning everything gold and striking directly at Yun Hailiang and his partner. A single member of the demon suppression army might be weak, but when thousands of them united, they formed a formidable force. This was particularly true after enduring the baptism of the deep sea giant shark and the blood of the seventh-rank sea buffalo. Their auras had grown much stronger. The joint attack blocked the retreat of the two heavenly prides of the Cloud Sea sect. Today we will settle both victory and death. Without the heart to fight to the utmost, you'll certainly die. Before the two heavenly prides of the Cloud Sea sect could block the attack, Zhong Lingshu had already closed a gap to press the attack. He landed a punch on one of the heavenly prides from the Cloud Sea sect, who was at the mid-stage of the Golden Body realm. The man was sent flying back. Then his body crashed into a mountain with golden blood gushing out. Yuaner, seeing the young man get heavily wounded by Zhong Ling's punch, the old man in the black robe's eyes almost split with anger, and he appeared almost insane. Yun Hailiang was the son of the sect leader and the heavenly pride of the sect, but the other one was his apprentice. Daring to divide your attention from our battle, your defeat isn't far off. Lu Yun's voice went low, with his golden fang giant teeth already prepared in secret. Even if this old man's strength wasn't on par with Tan Qin and the others, he could inscribe runes at the very least, making him much stronger than any ordinary peak-shape Golden Body Realm fighter. It's all your fault, all your fault. Without you blocking me, Yuaner wouldn't have been so badly injured. The old man in the black robe roared, his face as dark as the ocean, and his aura surged, stirring up a fiery sea and hurling himself towards Lu Yun. At this moment, Lu Yun no longer pressed forward. He was well aware that the old man was now prepared to risk everything, even if it meant paying the price of his own life. He stood in the void, his purple robe fluttering. The Yuan high behind him was booming, displaying a powerful, vast aura origin. He gripped his long knife tightly in both hands and slashed it powerfully towards his opponent. Hum! The thick knife light soared straight into the sky, dazzlingly radiant, like a hanging Milky Way, hacking towards the vast heaven and earth. His sword chi surged like an ocean, stretching far and wide. Amidst it, dazzling stars fell like a red sun dropping. Power to shake the heavens, it was incredibly breathtaking. During this process, space collapsed, clouds roiled, and the earth cracked. The grand and majestic scene was like the creation of heaven and earth, shocking and thrilling. Oh no! The old man in the black robe quickly retreated, shocked. He could deeply feel the power of that one knife and knew he could not resist it directly, otherwise he would be heavily damaged. He quickly rushed towards another area, fleeing. The whistling knife chi and the vast killing intent made his robes tear, and marks covered his body. Golden blood dripped slowly, and the continuous mountain range, after being hacked by this unparalleled knife, which felt like the sun had descended, was clearly seen cut into two halves by the chi of the knife, revealing a gigantic abyss, filled with terrifying knife chi and killing intent. What a strong fluctuation from the battle! What's happening over there? Let's go and see. Many members of the Demon Suppression Army and experts from the Martial Academy rushed over and saw the intense fight, especially when they saw a heavenly pride from the Cloud Sea sect attempting to escape the perimeters of the battlefield. Nearly breaking free, they were all angry and burst out, killing intent, ready to rush forward. I am Zhong Lingshu of the South Sun Martial Academy. This man is my target. I hope you all will give me some face. Zhong Lingxiu immediately halted others. Zhong Lingxiu? One of the top 10 from Ling Province. The top 10 of Ling Province were the 10 most monstrously talented and powerful youths among the 36 martial academies in Ling Province. At the very least, they were all in the late stage of the Golden Body Realm. But their actual combat capabilities far surpassed the average peak-shape Golden Body Realm combatants. For such exceptional individuals, these experts naturally did not want to offend them. As for Lu Yun on the other side, his status was even more extraordinary as the only saint child in Ling Province, ranking above the top 10. His reputation was comparable to the heavenly prides of Central Province, Wu Province, and other exceptional heavenly prides. There is another remnant from the Cloud Sea sect, Kill. At this moment, one of the powerful fighters noticed the heavily injured heavenly pride of the Cloud Sea sect struggling out of the mountain, preparing to escape. Seeing this, others also revealed killing intent and launched their killing techniques. For a moment, various techniques emerged. A plethora of lights lit up. A dozen powerful fighters all made their moves, launching dense attacks targeting one direction. Chapter 340. Suppression, Self-Destruction _3 Boom! A massive sound echoed, as if the Earth's core had been blown apart, and dazzling lights poured down like lava onto the Cloud Sea sect's heavenly pride. Each attack was overwhelming and concentrated, with the weakest attack comparable to a full-strength strike from someone in the middle stage of the Golden Body Realm. Now, gathered together, they formed an unparalleled killing move directed at this Cloud Sea sect's heavenly pride, who was only in the middle stage of the Golden Body Realm. He tried his best to resist, but how could the strength of one person withstand the power of over a dozen people? Moreover, he had already been seriously injured by Zhong Lingxiu. An enormous wave of energy spread out, completely engulfing this mountain peak and the heavenly pride of the Cloud Sea sect. The mountain crumbled and the lights surged like waves. Massive stones weighing tens of thousands of pounds flew in all directions, creating a terrifying scene. Finally, a shattered, feeble aura descended. Under our incredibly powerful attack, he didn't die completely, truly a rare heavenly pride. What a pity. One of the powerful individuals launched a golden beam of light, intertwined with flashes of lightning, which rapidly pierced through the target. Splat! The fierce attack penetrated the opponent's chest, skull, forehead, and abdomen, bringing out a large spray of blood. Yuaner, my Yuaner! The black-robed old man wailed to the sky, his body surrounded by a radiant glow. 13 runes emerged from his body, merging with the Yuan high inside him, the tidal waves of sound rumbling like a tide. Not good. This old guy is going to self-destruct his runes, taking us all with him. Lu Yun, Saint Child, retreat quickly. Runes draw on one's Yuan high as a foundation. Tapping into the laws of heaven and earth are the basis of attaining the Tao. Each rune possesses immense power. Before solidifying a rune seed, runes cannot leave the body. Once they leave the body, it means the rune is collapsing, causing the laws to shatter, and the power created would be earth-shattering. Self-destruct runes. Lu Yun was shocked, as even before the runes had completely collapsed, he could feel an immense, throbbing power. If he allowed this to happen, his situation would be unspeakable. If it weren't for you blocking me, Yuaner and the others wouldn't have been dragged down and killed in battle. Everything is your fault. The black-robed old man had lost all will to live, now seeking only death. But before his death, he must take something with him, not only for revenge, but also to make Morijin pay a heavy price. Lu Yin, with merely an origin fluid realm cultivation, could fight against him, a peak golden body expert who had etched more than a dozen runes into his skin. Such monstrous talent was extraordinarily rare. Under the weight of old grievances and new hatred, he made the best choice, which was to take Lu Yun down with him. Haha, with a prodigy like you buried with me, What does it matter if I die? The black-robed old man's face showed a fierce determination, his body emitting light, and the collapsing runes charged towards Lu Yun. The sound of zheng zheng filled the air, and even from afar, one could feel the destructive and violent atmosphere permeating the air. Boom! It was like the explosion of a star, bursting with a brilliant radiance. The terrifying aftermath of the self-destruction swept across hundreds of miles in an instant, like a gust of wind. Located at the center of the self-destruction zone, a tall and erect mountain peak collapsed with a loud rumble, its billowing dust reaching the sky. It's a mess. At such a distance, Saint Child Lu Yun is likely unable to avoid the aftermath of the self-destruction. Those dozen or so powerful individuals who had retreated far away looked at the terrifying aftermath and shook their heads with a hint of pity. Chapter 341. Startling appearance of the cave mansion. Hell's three-headed dog in the distance. People sighed, feeling sorry for this young man, the #1 prodigious saint child among all martial academies in Ling Province, who would now perish here. No one thought that Lu Yun could survive after a peak Golden Body Realm expert who had inscribed more than 10 runes exploded himself. What a pity, what a pity. We in Ling Province finally had such a genius who was destined to become a celestial human, but now he's dying young. Among these people were demon extermination generals and strong martial artists from various martial academies in Ling Province. They had more or less expectations for Lu Yun, the rising genius. After all, Ling Province was poor, and their martial arts level was far behind the other provinces of Morijin. If a celestial human rose from their midst, it would definitely change the current situation. Saint Child has fallen! Chiogiyun couldn't believe it. In his mind, Lu Yun was like a strong pillar, an existence to tightly embrace, having endless potential in the future. But it seemed that the dream was shattered so suddenly. It's impossible, it's impossible. Senior brother, Lu won't just perish like that. Bailey E's face turned pale, and he stumbled backward. Ever since the beginning, he considered Lu Yun as his benchmark, the motivation for his cultivation. If Lu Yun had really fallen, it would be an unimaginable blow to him. Everyone in Flying Spirit Martial Academy had a bleak expression, except for Gu Yuan, whose eyes flashed mysteriously as he said softly, with unparalleled natural talent, Senior Brother Lu will not be dragged down by a mere golden body realm martial artist. On the other side, that was close. When he escaped from the explosion, Lu Yun finally heaved a sigh of relief. In the instant the old man in the black robe exploded, Lu Yun immediately used Instant Horizon to get away in time. Otherwise, if he didn't die, he would have been seriously injured. His current physical strength was slightly worse compared to a real, golden body, realm peak powerhouse. The power of the explosion, even the golden body, realm peak powerhouse's flesh, would be torn to pieces. The scene just now was nothing short of dangerous. Boom! One wave barely subsided and another wave rose. Just as Lu Yun arrived at the center of the battlefield, he suffered an ambush. A small red light was rushing at him from tens of meters away, hurtling toward his heart. Lu Yun condensed his aura origin on his hand, forming a golden protective layer. He used his index and middle fingers to grasp the red light. Upon closer inspection, it turned out to be a flying needle coated with an unknown venom that devoured aura origin and emanated an intense cold. This poison could even devour the pure yang strong origin, which showed how fierce it was and how insidious his enemy's methods were. Die! Lu Yun's eyes flashed coldly, and with a wave of his hand, he sent the poisonous needle back to the direction it came from. The ambushing martial artist, wearing a gray robe, didn't expect Lu Yun to block his stealth attack right away and retaliate at the same time. With a hurried attempt to block with his weapon, a crisp sound was heard, followed by an irresistible force. He quickly retreated, and his weapon was destroyed and knocked away. Fortunately, the direction of the poisonous needle was deflected, landing on a towering tree. An overwhelming cold exploded, turning the giant tree into an ice block. A dark cave appeared, expanding rapidly where the needles penetrated. This kid is so strong. The gray-robed martial artist could not worry about the pain in his body, attempting to escape quickly. But suddenly, he sensed a powerful aura surging behind him. Hot air rose, filling him with terror. Unable to dodge, an immense force erupted, striking his back. Splat! With a force powerful enough to split mountains. How could this mere golden body realm early-stage martial artist withstand it? His flesh burst apart, and golden blood spattered everywhere. One-hit kill. Only then did the discontent in Lu Yun's heart subside. My demon extermination points haven't increased. After killing the ambusher, Lu Yun found that the demon extermination points on his demon extermination token hadn't changed. But previously, the Golden Body Realm Peak Powerhouse contributed 3,200 demon extermination points to Lu Yun just by dying through self-explosion. This Golden Body Realm middle stage martial artist had been killed by Lu Yun personally. Could it be that this guy is not from Cloud Sea Sect? Lu Yun suddenly realized. He checked and found a familiar token, the demon extermination token. In fact, Lu Yun noticed the ambusher's attire didn't resemble a member of the Cloud Sea Sect from the start, but he was suddenly attacked and harbored a strong desire to kill. So he didn't have time to question him and killed him decisively. Now, with no change in demon extermination points and having seen the demon extermination token with his own eyes, how could he not know the reason? As expected, not long after, a flicker of light from the exploded body slowly dissipated, and the radiant light on the demon extermination token vanished completely. At the beginning in East Sun Grand Canyon, when Master Chong Kong granted each martial artist with a demon extermination token, he embedded runes into their bodies so that the token could record their achievements. Now this person was killed by Lu Yun, and the rune in his body also dissipated. The demon extermination token no longer belonged to anyone. Lu Yun's eyes flickered thoughtfully. Chapter 342. A cave mansion appears, the three-headed hellhound _2. Could it be that he tried to ambush me in order to steal my demon extermination token and claim the demon extermination points? Quickly, Lu Yun dismissed the idea. Master Chong Kong had once warned that demon extermination points could be exchanged privately, but they must follow the principle of fairness and voluntariness. Otherwise, no mercy would be shown. This martial artist had no need to violate the warning of a Golden Core Realm True Master for the sake of demon extermination points. Moreover, the demon extermination token was linked to the runes within one's body. If two different tokens attempted to exchange demon extermination points, it was possible that the exchange would be discovered. The opponent would not be so foolish. Then why did he try to kill me? As he touched the demon extermination token in his hand, Lu Yun pondered. Just then, a mountain not far away collapsed with a deafening roar, revealing a huge deep hole, several yards in diameter and apparently bottomless. Is this a dwelling? Lu Yun's eyes sparkled brightly, his heart beating faster. Within sects, those who were powerful and preferred their privacy for cultivation would often establish such dwellings and practice intensively in seclusion. Those who could do so were at least of the rune seed realm. Such a person's secluded dwelling would undoubtedly be filled with pills and secret cultivation manuals, a serious temptation for any martial artist. Upon discovering Lu Yun, the opponent's ambush attempt made sense. But unfortunately, since his target was Lu Yun, not only did the ambush fail, but it also led to his own undoing. I cannot keep this demon extermination token. Lu Yun casually threw the token aside, then made his way towards the nearby dwelling. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Suddenly, a massive array shone brightly, enveloping Lu Yun in its radiance. At the same time, a beast formed from powerful energy appeared. Its silver light was dazzling, and in the end, it transformed into a pitch-black creature. The creature was not large in size, but it was covered in scales that gleamed with a metallic luster. It had a ferocious mouth, a single horn on its head, and a body that resembled a hound, but with 3 heads and wings on its flanks. This was a Cerberus from hell. Even though it was shaped from the heavenly and earthly spiritual chi convergence in the array, it was incredibly powerful. Growling upon seeing Lu Yun trespass into the dwelling, Cerberus rushed over. Its breath was wild and its power horrifying. Lu Yun stared at the Cerberus, but did not draw his dragon scale saber. His saber technique was too strong. If he wasn't careful, the dwelling could be destroyed, the mountain could collapse, and he would end up worse off than before. A golden halo soared into the sky, shimmering with a crimson luster. This was the 100 refined Vajra ring, capable of both offensive and defensive capabilities. Boom! He threw it, and suddenly a dazzling golden light surged forward, violently hitting one of the Cerberus heads. Growling, the Cerberus howled in pain. The scales on its central head were shattered, creating a large bump. Enraged, it became even more terrifying. Its body was gleaming, and it resisted the 100 refined Vajra ring, rushing to Lu Yun for a melee fight. The creature's body was formed by the convergence of heavenly and earthly spiritual chi within the array. As long as the array was not broken, and as long as the spiritual chi did not exhaust, it was invincible. When it moved, silver lights fell like exploding stars, and its powerful claws tore easily through the air. It was terrifying and fiercely aggressive. Lu Yun was not afraid. He stepped forward, charged without backing down, and fiercely collided with the vicious Cerberus. His body was filled with immeasurable golden light. He dodged the creature's claws and then gave a punch on its bulging spot on the skull. A loud hum reverberated in the air. The Hell's Hound had been punched into stumbling. It crashed against the mountainside, howling in pain. Lu Yun again grabbed the 100 refined Vajra ring and advanced, climbing onto the beast's body and vigorously hitting its head. Each time it was hit, the Cerberus howled, shaking wildly, trying to throw Lu Yun off its body. But all its efforts were in vain. The more it struggled, the more severe attacks it sustained. In the end, as Lu Yun hammered away relentlessly, one of the Cerberus heads exploded, leaving it with 2, becoming a 2-headed Cerberus in the literal sense. At the same time, Lu Yun noticed that as one head was destroyed, the beast's aura weakened. It worked. Lu Yun's spirits were lifted, and he fought with renewed vigor. He was at a loss with the array. If he could forcibly blow up the Cerberus, the array might break automatically. So, Lu Yun either hit it hard with the 100 refined Vajra ring or wildly battered it with his hands. Eventually, Lu Yun blew up all 3 heads of the Cerberus. The creature's spine was also broken, and it dispersed into lines of energy, completely vanishing. With the disappearance of the Cerberus, the array also disbanded. At the same time, Lu Yun felt an incredibly dense layer of heavenly and earthly spiritual chi within the dwelling. With the array disarmed, Lu Yun entered it effortlessly. The dwelling's interior was a treasure trove, with large spaces and numerous chambers. Each chamber was neatly organized, bearing traces of occupation. From this, it was evident that the owner of the dwelling hadn't been away for long, and it was even possible that they were locked in battle with the demon suppression army outside. Lu Yun walked straight to a stone chamber with a barrier in place. He had barely taken a few steps inside when a flashing barrier appeared, pulsing with energy. Chapter 343. A cave mansion appears. The 3-headed hellhound _ 3 the prohibition left by a rune seed realm powerhouse was naturally not simple. Lu Yun finally destroyed the prohibition and entered with some effort. I hope there will be some gains. Inside the stone chamber, it was quite spacious. Lu Yun's eyes suddenly fell on a beautiful bracelet. The bracelet was overall xianqing in color, with 5-star patterns engraved on it, emitting a faint starlight, quite mysterious. Lu Yun's mind trembled, and he immediately walked over, wanting to claim it for himself. An object that could excite him so much must undoubtedly be a treasure. As soon as he grabbed it, he felt extremely soft and smooth. Starlight soaked into his body, shining brightly on his skin, and even the remaining impurities in his body were being refined one by one, making him feel refreshed, ethereal, and almost soaring to the heavens. What is this treasure? It actually has the effect of purifying the flesh and refining impurities. Lu Yin looked at the Xing Xian bracelet with flashing starlight in his hand and looked shocked, a hint of surprise in his eyes. This is the 5-star Xianqing bracelet. As long as it is worn for 120 years, one's bones will be refined into star-storing treasure bone, and the body will be greatly enhanced, not inferior to some monsters with special physiques. Such a voice suddenly sounded from behind, causing Lu Yin to be alarmed. He summoned the 100 refined Vajra ring and the golden-edged giant Fong, and the cave immediately filled with dazzling golden light. "Brother Lu, it's me. Don't do anything." Another young man with a handsome face and extraordinary temperament walked out of the stone chamber in the cave. Upon hearing the sound, Lu Yin looked at him and found that he was an acquaintance. It was Zhuo Qiuya, the legendary heavenly pride among the independent martial cultivators. "You followed me." Lu Yin placed the 5-star Xianqing bracelet naturally on his wrist, faintly feeling the starlight pouring into his body, silently improving and enhancing his physique. Zhuo Qiuya looked at Lu Yin's actions and couldn't help shaking his head and laughing bitterly. "Brother Lu, I entered this cave first, but now you're turning everything around. It's really—" At these words, Lu Yin's face turned red. He had just entered the cave not long ago, and with his strength, if someone was tracking him, he would naturally have noticed. And since the other party came out of another stone chamber in the cave, it could be seen that Zhuo Qiuya had indeed entered the cave before him. Although knowing this, Lu Yin couldn't admit it. To admit it meant to give in. For Lu Yin, compromise was impossible. "Oh, really? But when I came, the array outside the cave was intact. If you entered the cave before me, why did the array still exist? I'm quite skilled in arrays and prohibitions, so entering the cave naturally isn't difficult." Zhuo Qiuya smiled faintly, glanced meaningfully at the 5-star Xianqing bracelet on Lu Yin's hand, and laughed. "Treasures belong to those who are virtuous. Don't worry, I won't compete with you for it." "Haha! I never expected Brother Zhuo to be so well-versed in various fields, even mastering such minor arts as arrays and prohibitions. You have my admiration." When Lu Yin's intention was exposed, he could only admit it by clasping his hands together. "Just a hobby." Zhuo Qiuya continued. "The 5-star Xianqing bracelet is regarded as a treasure in the Cloud Sea sect. I didn't expect it to be hidden here and be obtained by you first, Brother Lu. As the Martial Academy's Saint Child, you truly have great fortune." Chapter 344, Level 5, Xianqing Bracelet, Rune Seed Realm Expert Attacks. This bracelet is indeed extraordinary, but it doesn't seem as precious as you claim, let alone being the supreme treasure of the Cloud Sea sect. Zhuo Qiuya shook his head slightly and smiled mysteriously. "Brother Lu, why don't you channel your spiritual power into the level 5 Xianqing bracelet and try it out?" Upon hearing this, Lu Yin channeled his spiritual power only to witness a burst of starlight from the bracelet, dazzling beyond measure, like a meteor shower rushing into his body. Subsequently, he felt a celestial force refining his body, a surge of stellar power, with abundant pure yang strong origin. This celestial force was faintly resonating with his yuan high and tempering his flesh again. At the same time, he noticed that as more spiritual power was channeled in, the force of the stars grew stronger, emanating a mysterious green light from the bracelet, enveloping his whole body, and an enormous pressure came upon him. Initially, when he reached the peak of the origin fluid realm, his yuan high had risen to a height of 80 yards. Tempering his body after that, his strength had grown tremendously to about 3,500,000 jin, about 250,000 kilograms. But now, as his spiritual power continuously poured into the level 5 Xianqing bracelet, the gravitational force he felt grew stronger, causing him to feel unstable, and he quickly stopped channeling spiritual power in. Upon examining himself again, he noticed the gold light radiating from his bones becoming denser and more brilliant, with a faint layer of starlight substance on the surface growing more elastic. After experiencing the reinforcement from the celestial force and gravity, he felt slight improvements in his physical strength, flexibility, and explosiveness. Such effects were achieved in just a short time and would surely become more evident over longer periods. Simultaneously, Lu Yun now understood why Zhuo Qiya referred to the level 5 Xianqing bracelet as the supreme treasure of the Cloud Sea sect. This treasure is extraordinary. Yearning ago, it caused a bloodbath among the 100 sects. If it wasn't only useful for refining the body of those in the Golden Body realm, I'm afraid even true masters of the Golden Core realm and those in the Heavenly Human realm would have personally stolen it. Brother Lu, obtaining this bracelet will surely solidify your supreme foundation in the Golden Body realm. With your talent, condensing a top-grade rune seed should not be difficult, and even a superior rune seed might not be impossible. Seeing Zhuo Qiyi's knowledge of the Cloud Sea sect, especially the secrets of the level 5 Xianqing bracelet, Lu Yun couldn't help but ask, Brother Zhuo, I've consulted many books in the Martial Academy, but there are very few records about the 100 sects, not even the worthless sects like the Black Mountain sect and the Cloud Sea sect. How do you know so much information? He secretly suspected that the other party might be a member of the 100 sects, but with the means of Morrigan at hand, it would be impossible for anyone to infiltrate the expedition army. Zhuo Qiya paused for a moment and asked instead, Brother Lu, do you know why the 100 sects, despite their strength and having expelled all sea clans from the nearly sea area to claim this territory, are constantly suppressed by Morrigan? Morrigan is more powerful in all respects, boasting impressive strength, unity, and cohesion under their emperor's leadership. On the other hand, the 100 sects are not as weak, but are disjointed and lack unity. It's normal for them to be suppressed. Lu Yun replied without a second thought. In the Morrigan realm, as long as one had enough talent, they could join the Martial Academy, the army, or other court institutions and receive decent cultivation techniques and resources as long as they demonstrated sufficient potential. Even those with insufficient talent could obtain cultivation techniques by slaying demon beasts and earning merits. Moreover, under the unified command of the royal court, the army, as well as the Martial Academy aristocratic families, and even independent martial cultivators, would all obediently respond. In contrast, the 100 sects hoarded their inheritance and refused to share their sect's secret techniques, only allowing internal lineage members to access them. In addition, conflicts arose frequently among the 100 sects, with fights breaking out between them occasionally and even cases of sect annihilation occurring. The Morrigan and the 100 sects were in a direct relationship of one thriving while the other declined. However, how is this related to your understanding of the 100 sects? Lu Yun kept his composure, but inside his guard was raised. People's hearts are cunning, and sects are treacherous. Zhuo Qiya touched the treasured sword in his arms, then sighed bitterly. The reason I know so many secrets is that I used to be a disciple of the 100 sects. Used to be. Upon hearing Zhuo Qiyi's words, Lu Yun's pupils constricted, but he quickly noticed the other party's wording. Indeed, the other party was a disciple of the 100 sects, but the emphasis on used to be had a purpose worth pondering. Brother Lu, you don't need to be so wary of me. I am now a person of Morrigan and have no relation to the 100 sects. In fact, I have a deep hatred brewing with some of their sections. Regardless, you were once a member of the 100 sects, and that cannot be changed. The golden fang behind Lu Yun sprang forth while his dragon scale saber emitted an aura in hand. Usually, Morajin would ruthlessly exterminate the 100 sects to eliminate future troubles, regardless of whether the sects were destroyed or their inheritances were severed. What about this? Zwa Chuya reached out and took out the demon extermination token. If I were a member of the 100 sects, could I get this demon extermination token? If that were the case, Master Chongkong would have killed me when the law runes refused. Lu Yun frowned, but remained guarded. What the other party said alone couldn't ease his vigilance, considering the other party might have unique means to avoid the investigation of a Golden Core Realm True Master. Chapter 345, Level 5, Xianqing Bracelet, Rune Seed Realm Expert Attacks _2. As long as the martial artists of the 100 sects are willing to abandon their original foundations and start cultivation anew, they can become a member of Morajin. Among independent martial cultivators, there are many like me who have abandoned their original foundations and started cultivation anew. They are scattered throughout the 12 Morajin states, and when you see an independent martial cultivators suddenly rise, most of them are former heavenly prides of the 100 sects. They had no choice but to abandon their supreme foundations and start cultivation anew. Abandoning one's original foundation means severing all ties with the sect, including the blessings of the sect's luck. However, Lu Yun heard for the first time that Morajin would accept people from the 100 sects under these circumstances. From Zhuo Qiwai's words, the truth could be discerned. Why would you give up the foundations you've worked so hard to establish? Lu Yun asked, pointing out a loophole in Zhuo Qiwai's speech. There are many reasons. Some do it for revenge, some for survival, and some for pursuing higher realms, and so on. Lu Yun still wanted to ask more when suddenly a commotion occurred outside the cave dwelling. Damn it! Someone indeed entered my cave dwelling. Upon hearing the voice, both Lu Yun and Zhuo Chuya narrowed their eyes. Brother Lu, I apologize. A strong rune seed realm expert from the Cloud Sea sect must have employed some tricks on the array or prohibition. They noticed our presence as soon as we entered the cave dwelling. Without his reminder, Lu Yun had already thought of this possibility. But what use was it? Now a powerful rune seed realm expert was blocking the entrance to the cave dwelling, which was terrifying just to think about. What should we do? Lu Yun's thoughts raced, searching for a strategy. In the cave dwelling, he could not use his instant horizon, so escape was impossible. If he didn't try to escape, his current strength could barely contend with a half-step rune seed realm. But if he encountered a real rune seed realm expert, he would have no chance for survival. But other than that, there seemed to be no better option. Feeling the oppressive aura drawing closer, Lu Yun glanced at Zhuo beside him and couldn't help but ask, Brother Zhuo, have you come up with any countermeasures? Zhuo nodded slightly. The best method is to confront them head-on in order to fight for a slim chance at survival. Upon hearing this, Lu Yun was exasperated. Wasn't this just stating the obvious? So he took a deep breath and looked around the room. Aside from the level 5 Xingxian bracelet he had previously obtained, the room was empty, except for a small gourd hanging on the wall. Lu Yun reached out, grabbed the small gourd, and heard a rolling sound from within. As he opened the gourd, the sparkle in his eyes intensified. Pills! As Lu Yun uncorked the gourd, a refreshing pill fragrance instantly filled the air. These are rune seed pills. Zhuo Chuya by his side reminded him, This pill has no advantages for you, only harm. You must not take it, or you'll be stuck at the half-step rune seed realm for the rest of your life. Are these really rune seed pills? Although Lu Yun had never seen rune seed pills before, he had heard of them. They were a unique pill with very high value, forcibly refined using the inheritance of the 100 sects through special means. As it was extremely difficult for even Golden Body realm martial artists to advance to the rune seed realm or even half-step rune seed realm, countless martial artists were stuck at the peak of the Golden Body realm in Morajin. But rune seed pills help Golden Body realm martial artists quickly comprehend laws, engrave law runes on their bodies, and eventually condense rune seeds. It could be said that a single rune seed pill could create a half-step rune seed realm expert. For those martial artists who had reached the peak of the Golden Body realm and could never advance further, a rune seed pill was no less valuable than any 6th grade pill. Unfortunately, this was within Morrigan in the Alliance. The rune seed pill, however, was a forbidden pill, its pill recipe destroyed, and any alchemist who dares to refine it would face sealing punishment from both the Dan Master Alliance and the Morrigan Imperial Court. It's not just because the rune seed pill would cut off the future potential of its user. Those who take the rune seed pill are individuals who have no hope of consolidating a rune seed due to the difficulty in engraving runes. How can one talk about future potential if one cannot even condense a rune seed? The reason why the rune seed pill is considered forbidden within the Morrigan realm and the Dan Master Alliance is that it weakens the fate of the human race to produce this pill. The rune seed, the law rune, this is linked to the laws of heaven and earth, as it consumes the laws of heaven and earth at a price. There were 2 rune seed pills in the gourd, each full and rounded, exuding a sense of elation that made people yearn, almost blending with heaven and earth. After sealing the gourd, Lu Yin put it away into the Sumi ring with a smile on his face. With such harvest, what can be done even if a great enemy comes? As for this, Zhuchuya had nothing more to say. Everyone has their own calculations and choices, and in the end they will pay for their choices. He had already reminded Lu Yin, and that was enough. Moreover, with the great enemy approaching, there was no time to waste on idle talk. Boom! Just as Lu Yin put away the rune seed pill, the stone door was suddenly blasted open, and a furious breath flooded into the stone chamber. The atmosphere was like a sharp sword cutting through the air, and Lu Yin felt an immense pressure. He mobilized all his pure yang strong origin to counter it. At the same time, he also saw the powerful Cloud Sea Sect expert who had arrived, his body covered in golden runes, his eyes opening and closing like lightning, and his powerful aura rolled like waves towards Lu Yin and Zhuchuya. You 2 rodents have the audacity to break into my cave. Die! A rune seed realm martial artist stretched out his hand, and 2 rune-constructed snakes lunged at Lu Yin and Zhuchuya simultaneously. Humph! Just a middling rune seed realm after all. If I were in my peak state, I could crush the likes of you with one hand. Zhuchuya was quite brave, defeating one of the rune snakes with a single sword. Lu Yin used all of his aura origin and activated 70% of his slaughter conception at level 5, just barely breaking the attack of the other snake. Even so, his figure retreated sharply, finally colliding with the wall, where he barely managed to steady himself. The mid-level rune seed realm expert's casual strike was terrifying, and Lu Yin's face was grave, as he had seriously underestimated the strength of a rune seed realm expert. However, Zhuchuya appeared quite relaxed. It seems you're already injured and aren't even at 50% of your full strength. Zhuchuya's words were meant to boost Lu Yin's confidence and shake the rune seed realm expert's state of mind. Humph, even so, more than enough to crush you 2 ants. The rune seed realm expert snorted, his body shimmering with brilliant light like a range of mountains blocking the stone gate, completely sealing off the stone chamber. With such a terrifying enemy standing in their way, Lu Yin didn't have much confidence. However, according to Zhuchuya, the enemy was severely injured, which was indeed the best news. As a result, he activated his spiritual power, and the mountain-like pressure from the level 5 Xian bracelet vanished, liberating his strength. Brother Lu, this time we must put aside our prejudices and work together to resist the enemy, or there will be no chance of survival. Brother Zhua, I trust you. At this moment, all Lu Yin could think about was escaping from the encirclement of the rune seed realm expert, or else everything would turn to ashes. Moreover, He didn't harbor much prejudice towards Zhuoche, and his words greatly eased the suspicions in his heart. Very well, I'm about to use a trump card that will cause the entire cave to collapse. However, you need to secure me 5 breaths worth of time and do not let him disturb me. Otherwise, all our efforts will be in vain. 10 breaths, no problem. Lu Yun gritted his teeth and stepped forward. The gold fang jaws quickly transformed into 9 golden swords, enveloping a golden light and attacking the Rune Seed Realm expert, blocking the entrance of the stone chamber. Humph! With just this level of skill, you think you can stop me? The Rune Seed Realm expert snorted loudly, sweeping his hand away and releasing a sea of runes that blocked the attack of the gold fang jaws. At the same time, he ferociously pressed on towards Lu Yun and Zhuoche in the stone chamber.